for June 22nd, 2026 to order at 6:32 p.m. This meeting is being conducted in accordance with the provisions of the open meeting law. In order to preserve the integrity of the interview process and ensure fairness to all applicants, the interview portion, is this one applicable?
Oh, sorry, you did the wrong one.
Yep. Thank you.
Sorry, one moment.
We'll restart in a second.
Oh,
Sorry.
we'll fix it in post. It's
I'll do it on my own. This meeting is being conducted in accordance with the provision of the open meeting law. Before we begin, I will state the members of the select board who are present in the room. Leslie Rutan,
Aye, here.
Jeff Osterguy,
Aye, present.
Julianne Hirsch,
Here.
Mike Tejan,
Hello, I'm here.
and I am here. With that, before we get in, we have a dense agenda tonight. I welcome public comment before we get into the meeting agenda, if any. The next opportunity for public comment will be at meeting close. Okay? The first order of business tonight is for West Main Street. And it's from the respondents to the town's request for proposals for the redevelopment of 4 West Main. As the board is aware, the purpose of tonight's presentations is to provide each respondent with an opportunity to present their vision for the property, highlight the merits of their proposal, and answer any questions the select board may have. The presentations are part of the town's evaluation process and will help the board better understand each proposal and assess how they may advance the town's goals for the site and downtown area. The board may ask questions throughout or following each presentation and may discuss various aspects of the proposals as part of its evaluation. No final decision is anticipated this evening. Additional discussion and consideration may occur at a future meeting before any action is taken. We have 2 respondents presenting tonight. The first is Northborough Market and Lofts, and the second, NRB Trust. Unless the board prefers otherwise, we begin with Northborough Markets and Lofts. Thank you. Please come. Thank you. No, have a seat right over here. You can get the front row. You can take these 2 seats right here with the microphones.
These 2 seats right here.
We'll get you better seats.
Like musical chairs. Okay.
You can sit right here at the
Actually, you
table.
can take the ones with the microphones. Okay.
We don't have to yell.
They're more comfortable.
Didn't want to be presumptuous.
No, all for you.
Okay, I just want to introduce myself. I'm David Capellner. I'm a town resident for many years. I'm with Mr. Al-Zahar, who is putting forth this proposal, and I'm assisting with this as his attorney. I was going to have a PowerPoint, but I don't know that I can use your equipment. So what I prepared, in addition there, I have copies of the slides. They're very simple slides. I'll give everybody a copy. I think it's like 17 pages or something like that. Yeah, we can go with that.
It's your option. I mean, I'm guessing, I don't want to overspeak, but I'm guessing we could get your slides up if you were to forward them, I think. I'm looking around to someone.
I would just need something, thumb drive.
Thumb drive?
or you
I have everything on the laptop.
What about email, Patrick? Can that work?
can email me, it's just, it's gonna take.
I don't mind just handing out
Okay.
Yeah,
paper.
totally your
And
option.
I'll be able to obviously read from my computer, but you'll have the paper.
Great.
Okay.
The only thing you won't get is the other participants to see your presentation that are viewing it at home. That's the only thing.
Understood.
Yeah.
Can I have just a moment, please?
The yellow folder, everybody. Yep.
Let's see, a little battery power here. Yes, I do.
I can hand them out if you'd like.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Oh, okay. Actually, would you like the unstapled version to scan? It might be a little easier.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
Your protocol to have the speaker sit or stand? or-
Oh, sit down,
Yeah,
please. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Hey, can I have one of my stapled copies? Yeah. All right. Okay, thank you. Please let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, you may want to just move the microphone a little bit closer. There we go.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Liz.
Are we all scanned in?
We're all scanned in.
Okay, very
Floor is
good.
yours.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay, so this is for Northborough Markets and Lofts, and Al Zahar, I'd like to thank the board for inviting us here this evening. He's very anxious about the project. I know there are other people interested in the project as well, and we're hoping that whoever gets the project does an excellent job for Northborough. That's what we need. Okay, I wanted to address some of the issues that were raised in the recent email that we received today. I'm going to start with the financial capacity and project financing. That should be on the third page of the handout. And starting with the sources of funds, Mr. Al Zahar has a loan commitment in the amount of, as you can read there, $1.125 million, a loan commitment towards this project. There are also personal funds on hand of additional $450,000. Together, that comprises something in excess of $1.5 million, which would certainly cover any of the, obviously, the purchase price, together with capital improvements and things of that nature. We can see that the purchase price proposed is a little bit over $1 million. Interior renovation and build-out, we're estimating between $100,000 and $150,000. There may be some mechanical, HVAC, electrical upgrades, ranging from $35,000 to $65,000. And we have other expenses here. The elevator is a concern, of course, and while the elevator presently is meeting the code, it's recently been inspected, is our understanding, nonetheless, we set aside improvements in the range of $20,000 to $50,000, although it's quite possible that the elevator may have to be replaced, but that's to be determined. But presently, apparently, it's functioning as it should. Facade and storefronts, $20,000, architectural, $15,000. Okay. Now, there's some contingency that we put in. The contingency, you notice from the previous slide, there's some asterisks. The asterisk is next to the upper range of the estimate, and the slide is blank. The contingency suggests that there may be anywhere from no additional monies required. On the other hand, if there is, there may be additional monies at the upper range. So we have a additional private capital improvements of $325,000. So the total development cost under our estimates, under our proposed purchase price and the renovations required, would be somewhere in the order of $1.355 million. And as we said, there is financing available through the mortgage loan commitment and the source of funds that of other sources, which would bring us up to over 1.5 million. So there should be plenty of room for any sort of contingencies, unexpected events, and unexpected problems with the building structure or the roof or anything of that nature. In other words, there's more than 15% additional contingency built into based on the total amount of financing that we have in place. Now, moving on to the operating costs, assuming that we acquire this property, there's going to be a number of expenses in operating the property as we can well manage. So we've estimated that property management might run approximately $30,000, maintenance and repairs, perhaps another $42,000 during the time that the property is being utilized. Utilities in the common areas, whether it's electricity or water or whatever the utility might be, we estimate that to be somewhere around $12,000. Insurance, based on the proposed value of the building, $13,000. And once again, these are estimates, but they are good faith estimates that Mr. Al-Zahar has come up with. And we maintain some reserves as well for total operating costs on an annual basis of $144,000. Now, we anticipate gross revenues of approximately $422,000. And this is based upon primarily rents received for the various offices, the restaurant, the apartments, and what have you. So we anticipate gross revenues of approximately $422,000 per year. Of course, there are operating expenses built into that, once again, which is $144,000. So we anticipate a possible $278,000 net operating income, but that, of course, assumes a full occupancy. Now, realistically, in the event that there isn't full occupancy, we put in a vacancy adjustment of almost $100,000. So notwithstanding this, we could still anticipate a net operating income perhaps in excess of $170,000, assuming that it's perhaps 3/4 occupied or something on that order. Okay, I want to move on to the project feasibility. How feasible is this project? Okay, well, there's going to be a number of capital improvements in order to make this project work. And we're going to have to employ some interior renovation and code upgrades. If we have both offices, a restaurant, perhaps a boutique or some shop on the first floor, offices on the second floor, there's going to have to be some interior renovation, obviously, painting, carpeting, maybe some work in the bathroom or the kitchen. There'll certainly be some interior renovation and code upgrades. The question as to whether or not what's the condition of the heating, ventilating, and air conditioning systems. This would be an ongoing situation, of course, and that those have to be maintained, and we may have to impart some funds for capital improvements in those domains. There may be some requirement for updating the electrical and the plumbing, obviously a thorough inspection and a thorough evaluation of the electrical system and the plumbing system may suggest some upgrades. And obviously, we've had an opportunity to tour the building, the interior of the building, and it looks, on the surface, it looks sound. It looks sound, but there are, of course, there may be some hidden problems, hidden costs. My understanding, there may be some issues with the roof. Now, does it need a roof replacement? Probably not. Would it need some roof repairs? Probably yes. Obviously, the fire safety and sprinkler improvements would have to be installed and maintained, bringing those up to code. And obviously, there are issues regarding, under the Americans with Disabilities Act, of course, that disabled persons should have full access to the building, just like any other customer or client or patron of the restaurant or of the offices, or any tenant who may be residing there. We mentioned the cost that we may incur in modernizing the elevator. Furthermore, part of the project, of course, is to make this a very attractive feature in the center of Northborough. And so we're very much concerned about restoring the facade, making the storefronts very attractive, making the building very attractive for the people, so that Northborough, we can be proud of our downtown, of our center town area with this historic building. Or I guess I know it's been reconfigured after some situations that occurred, but nonetheless, it does still maintain a historic character, and we want to maintain that, so the facade restoration and storefront enhancements would be important. An examination of the windows and the lighting may or may not suggest some replacement. We're very much interested in making sure that we're using energy-efficient systems. As we know very well here in Massachusetts, let alone Northborough, the cost of utilities is skyrocketing. Energy is very expensive, and we want to make sure we are as efficient as possible. Okay, moving on to the next slide, project overview and delivery. The building contains approximately 27,000 square feet. Now, the question is, I believe that's a square footage based on 4 floors, the ground floor, the second floor, the third floor, and the fourth floor, if I'm not mistaken. It's my understanding each of those floors is approximately 6,500 square feet. I could be corrected on that, but that's my understanding. There is the 5th floor, however, and I don't know that the square footage is reflected in that. I don't know that the 5th floor square footage is reflected in this 27,000 square foot figure. Perhaps
We can check on that.
Sure,
Yep.
sure. It's just something that we should know. Okay. And we anticipate there's a beautiful space on the ground floor, as we all know, for a restaurant. And that restaurant space runs approximately 3,500 to 4,000 square feet. And that could be I was going to use the term landmark, but a better term that I'm thinking of is it's the flagship. It would be the flagship of this building. It's the largest single-use portion of the space of this building, and this would be something that would really bring some upgrades, if you will, to the center of the town. There's a dental office currently operating, and my understanding it's a very successful practice. I would imagine the dentists, although we haven't spoken to the dental office, they've been here a number of years, is my understanding, and I don't know that they have any plans to leave anytime soon. So that would certainly be something going forward, hopefully continuing to go forward. Now, we may, depending upon the square footage available, there may be some space for a retail shop, a gift shop, a boutique, something on that order. Let me move on. The second floor, one moment, please.
Well, the first floor, can I talk?
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Mazar.
Well, good evening, guys. The first floor, we are actually going to keep the restaurant. I do have, I'm a business owner in town, and I've been in town for over 27 years, and I'm so proud to be a Northborough resident. And I do have a lot of customers. They do everything. Very much
I was gonna say,
so-
Mr. Alzahar is stealing my thunder. I was gonna get into all that later, but.
Yeah, I know. So the restaurant, oh, I'm sorry, I thought you wanted to talk about that.
Please,
So the
go right
restaurant,
ahead.
I do have ready, a business owner ready to move in. He have 5 different restaurant in different towns, and he's waiting for this to happen to move in. He want to have outside seated, he want to have inside people for like nice, beautiful day. People can sit outside and enjoy the weather, especially in the summer, and have, enjoy their dinner or drink or whatever they have. The dentist, we want to keep if he like to stay. He's been in town for a while, we have a lot of customers, I've been watching him, a lot of people going in and out. He looks like he's doing great. So, and it looks good, honestly, his office clean, it looks good for the town. The second floor, we'd like to have 6 different small businesses, like 1,000 square foot each office. And believe it or not, I already have lawyer want to move in, I have accounting, I have physical therapists looking for a place, and I have a young lady, she just started her business, she want to be doing hair and nails. So I have people ready to move in. The 3rd, 4th, and 5th floor, we would like to have in each floor.
I'm gonna move to the next slide.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Continue.
The 3rd, 4th, and 5th floor, we would like to have a small apartment, 4 apartment in each floor. I think it's like 6,000 square footage each floor. If we can manage to have each apartment about 1,500, I think that's enough for like 2-bedroom, small apartments. We need that for Northborough. They don't have a lot of like apartments. And believe it or not, I heard this at least twice a month. People come to me, hey, my son is ready to move out and he's looking for like a nice, safe apartment. Do you know anybody? I don't. Oh, my daughter, she's ready to move out. She's 19, she's want to start her own. Do you know any place to go? I don't. They go to Fitchburg, they go to Leominster, they go to Clinton, which is this good towns, I'm not saying anything, just because they're looking for affordable apartments. Everybody know, in Northborough, nothing below $3,000 to rent, nothing. So we'd like to keep these kids in town. If we can manage to have 4 apartments in each floor, 1,500 square foot each apartment for affordable rent, and keep kids who grow up and live in Northborough all the time, all their life, stay here close to their family and their loved one, why not? And we keep the building life. Now, the basement, honestly, we would like to give it for community service, because I thought we can give 1 floor for that. But honestly, this is too much to lose. This building, to keep it in a safe condition, need a lot of maintenance, property tax, heat, water, insurance, maintenance. I know it's going to be a lot of money coming in for rent, but it's going to be a lot of money also spent to keep the stores open. So the basement is honestly, I hate to use this word, it's useless, but it can be used for community service. If someone in town, he wants to volunteer and take care of it and keep it open for the town, welcome. He can have the key for free, as long as he's doing what he's doing and he's going to keep it safe. So that's what we have in mind.
I wanted to add just one note about that. With the apartments, relatively low population density. One of the issues, of course, is the parking in the area. I guess there's 38 spaces, and I guess they're shared, between the old town hall building and I guess there's a restaurant further back from the parking area. So those are shared spaces. And what's being proposed is a situation where the building would not require a lot of dedicated parking. Most of the parking would be undedicated. Perhaps 1 space per apartment.
Yes.
Perhaps that amount, but certainly nothing more than that. So that would result in, what did you say, 12 units?
12 units.
12 units, so 12 spaces, and that would still leave 26 spaces that could be utilized day and night on an ad hoc basis as customers, clients, and other persons see fit to use. Okay. Okay, now, moving to the next slide. There are a number of objectives that we have in order to continue to make the downtown much more attractive. We want to activate the downtown streetscape, make it a place where there's activity, good-natured activity. We want to have a situation where it's pedestrian-friendly. A retail store possibly, certainly the restaurant would make it pedestrian-friendly, or a side cafe. There would be, once again, offices on the second floor, and certainly that would be an area which would have pedestrian traffic, not only the people who work in those offices, whether they are accountants or real estate brokers or attorneys or consultants or whatever walk of life, their clients, their customers, they would contribute to this this downtown pedestrian type activity. We discussed the parking situation, and we do have, once again, we do have that plan to minimize the demands on the parking. And one of the most important aspects is, once again, even though the building has been redone, it's still what we consider an historic building nonetheless. And it's our goal to preserve it and to be able to have it be utilized for today's use, for 21st century use, even though it would be historically, it would present a historical image of the town. Okay, I'm just going to move on to the next slide, if I may. Now, what are some of the benefits that the town of Northborough would receive from this proposal? Well, clearly, there would be an initial purchase price that would be paid out initially, of course, if this project was accepted, and that's in excess of $1 million. But further benefits to the town. The capital improvements, $200,000 to $325,000 worth of capital improvements. While those benefits would obviously accrue to the owners of the building, the effect that those benefits have, that capital improvement has on the rest of the town and the improvement of the property would certainly be a benefit for the town. The tax revenue estimate, I don't know, maybe that's conservative, I'm not sure. I'm assuming if it's let's just assume it's $1 million building, and usually the assessed value, or for tax purposes, is somewhat lags the actual market value, if you will. So that's how I came up with a figure of $16,000 for taxes. Now, certainly, if it's assessed at the full million or $1.2 million or $1.3 million, as opposed to a lesser assessed value from the million, then obviously that tax revenue would be somewhat higher. It could be $20,000 or more per year, depending upon how it's assessed. Other benefits, obviously, we want to increase local business activity. It seems to me that, one of the things I've noticed about Northborough, and I think most of us who live here noticed that this town has a lot of potential. And by the same token, we want to maintain the small town character of the town where people want to come and live. But if you look at Westborough, for example, they seem to have a heck of a lot of commercial space, a lot of retail, a lot of light industry, if you will. And I'm not suggesting that Northborough wants to go that route, so to speak, but we certainly want to increase our local business activity and make Northborough more vibrant while still maintaining the small town appearance. And certainly with a historic building that's functioning as such in the center like that, that would go towards seeing that vision. Okay. There would be, once again, increased downtown vibrancy with people working in the building, people coming in as customers or clients, contractors, whoever. This would support the local businesses in the general area. Once again, it would be the preservation of this existing building, which is important, and it would still be a very walkable, pedestrian-friendly area. Without belaboring the issue of parking, I think we've discussed that, we've covered that. I don't know if there's anything further you'd like us to say about the parking situation, but once again, we have a plan to address that, as we mentioned. Okay, let's look now at the project experience that we have before us. Mr. Al-Zahar, he's been a resident of the town for over 20 years. He's been working in Northborough for almost 30 years, almost 30 years working in this town. He's the president and/or proprietor of Top Energy that I'm sure many of you are familiar with, located right here on West Main Street, almost in that center intersection, just off the center intersection between West Main Street and I guess it's South Street, Route 135, a building or so over from the bank. Something else that's not that we hadn't mentioned, and it's not in my slides, but there's something else that and I think I want to bring to the board's attention. Several years ago, there was a proposal to upgrade the dressing, the window dressing, the beauty, if you will, of the downtown area. And Mr. Al-Zahar was approached as to whether or not he would permit a local artist who would be hired by the town of Northborough to paint a beautiful mural on the side building. The side building is all concrete, and it's Yes. One surface. So, and of course, Mr. Al-Zahar agreed to that. Many of you might have seen it's sort of a flowery type of design, and I think we would agree it really lights up the area somewhat. I think that's indicative of the type of commitment and dedication that Mr. Al-Zahar has to beautifying the town, working with the town, making Northborough a better and more beautiful place. Now, having said all of that, so obviously there'll be the renovation of this commercial space that's some of the experience that Mr. Al-Zahar has had. The renovation included, I don't know if anybody ever noticed, there was a new roof.
Yes.
Tell the board about that roof.
We did a lot of renovation, and I tried my best to keep the building nice and clean. I always keep the building clean as much as I can. We just redone the whole canopy, and we did with the new roof. About 7 years ago, the state come up with a new law about the fuel tanks in the ground, and we worked with the state, and they want us to replace the tanks, which is we did. Spent almost $400,000 to get rid of the old tanks and keep the soil clean with the new tanks. We went through the book, and we got all the DEB cam, and they test everything and kept everything clean. So I try my best. Do you want me to tell about my experience?
Sure.
Now, I'm sure you guys, do we have like a photo machine or something I can share? I can put pictures before and after?
Yeah, I can do that, yeah.
You sure? Thank you. So,
You just want me to take copies of
no,
them?
there is, but can we see that on screen? Do you have like the,
I can scan it and email it.
if that's gonna take much, I don't wanna bother you.
Is it just this one?
I have three or four different projects I did. So.
Or we could just pass them
Oh,
around.
they can. Yeah, maybe they can just look at it at the time. Whatever it's easy for you.
Yeah, we'll just pass it around.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good idea.
So there is a property on 117 West Main Street, Northborough. It was right here on Main Street, and it looks like absolutely,
Needed a great deal of work, both
They were
cosmetically and
bad-
structurally.
yeah, bad shape, and it looks like leftover, and looks like, make Main Street look absolutely, like you are in a poor town, which is, Northborough deserve better. So I did remodel the whole building. I put nice stone walls, new pavement, new siding, get rid of all these trees, and make the house look absolutely gorgeous, right here on Main Street. A year ago, I took over another building in Westbrook Road, which is, I have pictures there, before and after. The previous owner, he have the house look like junkyard, like about like.
A lot of debris in the yard.
Maybe about like 15 or 10, I would say at least 10 cars, included old, excuse my English, junky motorhome was left there for years. And trees was hugging the house from everywhere, leaves was there. No one cleaned the leaves for like years and years, was stacked up. I cleaned everything, I cut the trees, I got rid of all these junky cars, I got rid of all this bad cars stuff like tires, antifreeze, oil left there. Cleaned everything. I put in new grass. I cut the trees. I make the house look absolutely gorgeous. I think it's the best looking house now in Westbrook Road. And now, actually, you guys, I think, familiar with 123 Main Street, the
West
red
Main
building, West Main Street, the red building right in the corner with Westbrook and Main Street. As a matter of fact, the police was there about maybe 3 months ago because the neighbors were complaining about people leaving the trash outside and a lot of animals. They've been coming at night and it smells, bad odor and all that stuff. So these people were ordered to leave because it was unlivable condition in that house. So I just took over that house too, and I'm working on it right now, and there's pictures there before, and actually we're still working on it, but it already looks 100% better. It was right on Main Street here in town, and it would not make this, honestly, would not make all Main Street look good. Not all, I mean, at least that section. So I'm trying, and I think I have good experience so far. I have done 3-4 houses. I have 3 family in Worcester. I keep it clean. I do my best. And I hope if we got the chance to take over this building, we're absolutely gonna do everything on book. We're gonna do everything inside, outside. We're gonna make this building look wow. Look at beautiful Northborough downtown. And we are continue gonna do Christmas time. We're gonna put the tree like usually guys do in Northborough. We're gonna keep everybody come there and having fun and celebrate Christmas. Same thing in New Year, Hanukkah, Halloween, whatever. We're gonna always have something special in that building for Northborough downtown to have the kids come with their family and enjoy the celebration. Whatever, 4th of July, that's absolutely different. 4th of July is going to be absolutely flags everywhere. We're going to have celebrate. We're going to have flags. We're going to have decorate. Music. We'll try to make this absolutely beautiful for Northborough people and Northborough. I hope. I'm thirsty.
I just want to add something quickly, if I might. As a result of Mr. Al-Zahar's being in business in Northborough over 20 years, he has somewhere between 600 and 800 steady customers, customers who come back on a regular basis for car maintenance or other issues regarding their vehicles. And he, as a result of that, he's developed a lot over the decades. He's developed a lot of relationships with people. So he has all kinds of relationships with plumbers, electricians,
Yes.
carpenters, air conditioning people, hazardous materials people. He has all kinds of relationships with these people, and he has the relationships and the resources required in order to make this a successful project.
I have one of my customers who's really in building business. He's been building and selling houses and remodeling houses for like over 40 years. And I already showed him the building from outside. And he want to help me with this so bad. And he will say, I will put all my experience to make this building absolutely gorgeous and safe and clean. And I was nervous, I'm gonna be honest, I was nervous a little bit about the expense for the remodeling. And, he said, well, you come up with the material, I do it, and if you're short in money, I finance you. So that makes me feel really good, because someone like him has been in business for 40 years, and that's what he does. He go and buy like 50 acres, and he put like 30 houses there, and just boom, done. He's really, really good. So I have people, just Mr. David, he said, I have people ready to jump and help me on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Is that the end of the prepared piece? Any other information that we should,
No,
can open up to the board for maybe
Sure,
questions?
please do, yes.
Yeah, so, first, thank you for the presentation. Thank you for what you do in and around Northborough, right? We're all residents here. We appreciate it. I am struggling a little with the renovation budget piece of this, right? This is a 27,000 square foot building. And I'm just wondering if you can kind of show us the math a little bit more around how you got to that $300,000 to $400,000 renovation number, because this is multiple floors, preparing things for restaurant spaces, retail, making sure things are up to code for, commercial uses, public entry, those kinds of things. I'm just curious how you got to those numbers.
Well, honestly, sir, no one can give me the correct number unless go in and start moving walls and start look deeper to see how, if it's like mold, if like wood, if anything, if anybody was said, with my respect to the other people, if anybody was said, oh yeah, this is $200,000 done, how? Can I fix your car without looking at it? No.
Yeah.
So basically, sir, we need to get in, but I took like pictures inside and outside, and I showed it to people, just like my buddy, the guy who'd been doing this for 4 years, and he said, right there, the worst, I told him the worst, I want to be prepared. He told me between $300,000 to $400,000 we can make this done.
And if it were to double, triple, quadruple once you get in there, because again, the building's, it's not old, it was
You're
built
right.
in 1985.
You're right.
Right?
Yeah.
But it has not been maintained, it has
You're
not
right.
been kept up, it is probably gonna need a new roof, all these things that are coming. What happens when we get to a place where it's 4 or 5 times as much as you estimate?
Let me partially address that, and then you can go
Please,
back,
please.
okay? That's why when we put in a contingency, but we also, in terms of financing available, we have over $1.5 million of financing available.
And that includes the purchase price though, right?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yes, it does. But Mr. Al-Zahar, and I think he alluded to this when you were talking about the contractor who says he's anxious to get in there and start doing the work, how he would extend credit. He would be, Mr. Al-Zahar would be able to obtain other sources of funds if necessary. One of which was the trade credit that he had discussed 5 minutes ago. So, but you raise a very important point.
Yes.
What if the renovations are 4 times what the estimate is?
10, right?
Well, that's a horse of a different color. It's who can plan for you can plan if you're expecting if the general contractor says, oh, it's going to be around $300,000. Okay. Sure, you can say, well, maybe it might be double that. But if you're telling us it's going to be 4 times that or 5 times that, I don't know. I don't know how you can estimate that. I don't know how you can foresee that.
Well, Mr. Jeff, also, the town, it's been maintenance this building. It's been keeping it heated. The door's always closed, nobody can go in, there's no animals there. Honestly, Jeff, and maybe I'm not supposed to tell you this building doesn't need a lot of work. It needs remodeling.
From what
I see,
we
for
can
what I
see.
see. But it's been heated all winter. There's no water leaks. There's no mold. There's no rats and animals there eating the windows and eating it needs some makeup, need clean, need,
And
so, and again, I mean, to all of you, the guy who, the builder I know, and I have almost $500,000 to put this building back together. I think that's good amount, that's not, that's good amount of money. If we come to double or triple, that's enough what I have funds, that's enough to bring the material. And if my buddy, he backed up and he said, I'm not doing it, there is a million company would do it and do finance. So I think I have enough to cover the material if we get to the worst and we find out, oh my God, look, all this wood is rotted, all the floors need to be, I think even if we go to the double what we have in mind, I think I could be safe.
Yeah, and another thing, Mr. Alzahar, he has excellent credit and sources, private sources who would be available as well. But once again, if it's 5 times,
If it's 5 times.
I don't, you know, I think I think based on the inspection that was done, based upon what we know about the building, based upon the fact that it was walked through a couple of times, I suppose it could be 5 times what the original estimate is for renovations, but I highly doubt it. Once again, double, I don't want to see that, but I suppose that's feasible, and we could cover double. After that, we'd have to go to outside financing, other sources. You concur? You agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, also, looking at the operating expenses, do you also feel that the amount that you have for maintenance and repairs is sort of it's hard to determine that too, because you're really having to look at ultimately what you're doing to that building and what those features might ultimately require as far as yearly maintenance and repairs.
Yes.
Because that's not going to be done to the way it currently is. It's how you foresee the building and how you foresee maintaining that. That's probably hard to ascertain too, but
Well, there's no doubt that these are estimates.
yes.
I would like to think that they are good faith, educated estimates. We certainly didn't try to put in a low figure.
Right,
We
yeah.
put in what we thought is are reasonable figures. But, if there's something hidden in the walls, if there's some sort of latent defects that can't be detected, and there are situations where buildings have had such defects and nobody, even an inspector, nobody can find them until it's too late and buildings are condemned, okay? I've seen this occur, clients coming to me in my practice saying they bought a property and now it's 3 years later and the foundation is shaking and the town is condemning it. And how did this happen? They had a building inspection before they bought the property. They did all their due diligence. And sure, there can be hidden surprises somewhere. Is it likely? Probably not to that extent. Is it possible? Yes, it is.
But I think that $500,000 we have just for maintenance, I think that would be enough to take care of the building. I think, we walk inside, we look twice, and to remodel this building, and just to think you spend over $500,000 for remodeling, I think maybe we just overprice. But just like what Mr. Dave, he said, worst case, I can prove more funds I can come with.
Well, one other point I want to mention, maintenance, renovation, that, in a building like this, that's an ongoing process. Okay, so you take care of everything today in 2026 or 2027, and sure enough, there's going to be issues that arise in 2028 or 2029 or 2030. I mean, it's an ongoing situation. It's not a static situation. It's dynamic. And we realize with a building like this, with the amount of care that it could need over the years, the fact that we've identified possibly the roof may have some problems with repair, possibly the elevator, and those are two large items that we've identified, okay? And as Mr. Alzahara said, there are no animals, there's no mold we could see, there's, the electrical seems to be working, everything, the system seem to be in good shape. So, you can't plan for every 1 in 1,000 chance of something happening. But in the event that it goes beyond the budget, there are other private sources of funds that Mr. Alzahar could obtain. And the bottom line is, we want to make this we're committed. We want to make this to be a success. We're not interested in, going in there, finding a problem and abandoning it and trying to sell it off and collect the money back. We're not interested in that. This is a long-term commitment that we're looking forward to.
Joanne?
Yeah, so I'm curious about how you came up with the purchase price.
Wow.
Well, okay. Well, let's see.
We look at the property assessed, and it was like 1.3.
Yeah, but
So we deduct a little bit from what we need from maintenance. So we come up with that. If this building need nothing, I'm sorry, Mr. Deb, if this building need nothing, you guys assessed it for 1.3 million, not me. So we come up with a little bit over a million, because we thought probably $200,000 or $300,000 to put this building back together. So that, at the end of the day, we come up to fair price. Example, if I'm selling my house and my house need roof and doors and windows, and my house worth $400,000 and it need $100,000 to fix, realistically, I have to sell it for 300, because whoever who's buying it is need to put that $100,000 to fix. If I'm gonna sell it for 400,000, it's gonna sit there for 5 years, nobody's gonna buy it. Because if you wanna spend $400,000 to buy a house to move in, you're gonna find better than my house and you go buy it. Why you buy my house for 400 and you got dump another 100? So that's how I come up with the price.
Huh, okay, so reasonable.
No,
Thank
you raise a very interesting point, though, because there's always a market value, there's a tax assessor's value, there's the bank loan officer's value as to what to loan on. So based on the fact that your figure was the 1.3, more or less, obviously, we're not going to say, we'll give you $500,000 for it, and obviously, we're not going to pay, $1.75 million for it. But there are different valuations, whether it's whether it's the market price, the lender's price, tax assessor's price, or some other model.
Thank you.
Mr. Alzar, thank you for the information.
Thank you.
One of the questions that I just wanted to get a better understanding of, and I'm following the presentation along with there's some repetition in it, which helps with the numbers. And some of the investment required to do the work you want to do sounds like it's in trade, or it's maybe not reflective of market rate because you're buying the materials and there's another thing going on the, what I'm trying to get a better understanding of. Do you have any professional estimates from people that could quantify what it would take to get the building to the vision with 6 to 9 apartments? Like, I'm even thinking about having done some renovations myself, even to get 6 to 9 apartments with bathrooms and up to code and kitchens. And I'm just having a hard time seeing how these numbers are, how you can be confident in the numbers at this stage.
Well, again, Jonathan, thank you so much for this question. Walk into this, especially in second or third floor, trust me, that needs nothing. That needs it's ready. It just need to move some doors. I'm not supposed to tell you this, but I took pictures, I took videos, and I showed it to the professionals. And what I understand from them, for $500,000, I think should do it. Now, you're right. If there's any hiding problems, yes, or maybe no. The worst case, Mr. John, If we have to come up with more money, I'm ready for that, and I can prove to you guys. If not, I have a guy who's willing to finance me for labor only. Part I'm gonna have to come up with. Now, if you fix your own bathroom or your door or your, $500,000, Jonathan, you can bring a lot of material. Worst case, if I have to go through financing company to build my house or to build this building, I think $500,000 should cover part only, material only. I think we in good hand. Worst case, I can prove to all of you guys, I can both, give me 2-3 days, I can prove to you, I do have more funds I can come up with. But I think $500,000 should do it.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
No, I appreciate the presentation. My questions were sort of we're in the same area that my fellow board members were asking about, right? The cost of renovations and how accurate they are and the amount of contingency, for unforeseen circumstances. So I don't think I have any additional questions at this time, but thank you, gentlemen, for the
Thank you, sir.
presentation.
One thing I forgot to mention to you, Mr. John, I own 48 Westbrook Road, straight, there's no mortgage. And that house was about $800,000 after the renovation I did. I have an investor who buy houses and rent them out, he's ready. If you ask me, where do you want to come up with the difference? This guy is cash buy, he can cut me check tomorrow for $800,000 if I need the cash immediately to fix this building. I am so in love with this building. I will sell all my wealth to get this building. Seriously. So worst case, I can sell this building. I think I'm in good hands, sir. But thank you so much for your concern, and that's good, because I don't want to do like, God bless him, he's gone, Tony. I'm sure you know him. He had this building before, and he gave it up because
Tony
he
Kwan.
struggled with it. And Tony was very, very, very smart businessman. Everybody knows Tony. I'm here, God willing, if I get a chance to buy it, I'm here to win, and I will win.
Thank you, and I really appreciate your enthusiasm and energy. And
Thank you.
Feel it. Yeah, and I just look at going downtown and seeing how many entrepreneurs thought they could bring something to life, and we have these vacant buildings that they missed something. What did they miss? Where now we've got these buildings that
You're right.
aren't done, and they're in Northborough, and
You're
so
right.
these are the things that I think the select board really needs to get comfortable with, is the
Of course.
feasibility and the cost of the project.
Of course,
But I do really appreciate the vision you're bringing and enthusiasms you bring.
of course. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming in.
Give me a moment, I will pack my documents.
Did I speak good? My daughter, she always make fun of my English.
I often tell people, you speak English a heck of a lot better than I speak your native language.
Right.
That's right. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Finally, let me
Thank you.
Gotta take your time.
gather everything, and
How do you spell your last name, attorney?
Kapelner,
Oh.
Kapelner.
Okay, thank you.
First name David, but just call me David, everybody does.
Thank you.
Oh, and thank you for putting my slides up.
Yes. That was excellent.
Sourceful.
Will we be able to ask questions after the second presentation, independent of the proposals?
What do you mean by that?
So I mean, we've heard a lot of numbers, they sound good, and we're gonna hear more numbers. I guess my question would be, should the town get their own assessment of what it would take to renovate the building.
Well, after each presentation, we could schedule a date to go into executive session and have conversations about where we want to go, what direction, where the gaps are that we want to
Okay,
evaluate more, yeah.
And if there's more information or engagement we need, we can do that as well. This is a good foundation to kind of understand the work done to date, how each party is thinking about the project, the cost, what diligence they have done, what diligence they have left to do, and try to get a better understanding from that.
right. Okay, thank you.
Good evening.
Hello. Just get set up here for a moment.
Sure.
Good time.
So I'm going to share through the Zoom meeting here. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it might not be working. Yeah. So choose a tab, this one. Go to share. Entire screen. Yeah. Sharing or not. All right, it's fine. All right, so I did email the team a version, so I think we'll go with that. Appreciate the opportunity. Thank you guys for having it. I know how much time and effort you guys put in and how late these meetings can go, so I'll try to be concise. I have the luxury of when I watch them, I do it on YouTube at twice the speed, so it's a little bit quicker, and you guys talk fast and funny. But
Please introduce yourself.
yes, of course. Yep, just making sure we're getting set up. My name's Nick Foley. I grew up in town. Right now, I live out of state on a project that I'm working on, but I'm happy to be here to present our proposal for 4 West Main Street, downtown living, entertainment, and community space. And my background is on the historic preservation side of it, so that's the draw to, this building, and then obviously being a town resident, that's the main pull for this. And before we get going, quickly go over the agenda. And again, I'll try to be concise, and obviously questions, and then any material that we need to send for follow-up, we can do that as well. So we'll go through the development team, the project experience, the building condition, the vision that we have for the downtown, the community benefits, of course, parking in Blake Street, big component to this project, the timeline and feasibility, and then project funding. And of course, question, as we go through it, feel free to ask questions throughout, or we can save them for the end. So as far as the team and development experience going, kind of anchoring the team on the building and development side is Neshoba Valley Building Services, which has 30 years of experience, including municipal projects, mixed use, and residential. A few previous projects include the Cape Cod Villages down in Orleans, Lindenwood Apartments, the Norwell Public Library, Dartmouth Police Station, and the Woods Hole Institute. And we're also kind of in early conversations with an engineering firm to better assess the building and the situation, and any situations that may occur. So, as everyone's aware, this is obviously a replica or a rebuild of the original 1886 building, which was the town hall for 110 years. Tragic struck in 1985, I believe, when it burnt down. It was rebuilt a few years later. In initial kind of assessment of the building, right, obviously it's good structural elements to it, but at the same time, there's some pretty significant repairs that would need to be done. Specifically on the roof, it looks like there's a lot of water damage that would indicate, the building is not fully sealed up. And I think given the conditions throughout on all the floors, it's very obvious that, it's not in like a detrimental condition where it's not salvageable, but it obviously has some significant repairs that would need to be done, including, of course, the replacement of all of the mechanical systems. Most likely, of course, plumbing and electrical, especially with the redevelopment that we're proposing. With the apartments and the build out, we would anticipate kind of fully going through and redoing all electrical and plumbing for all aspects of the building, not just the new construction elements. One of the key parts of this, and I borrowed this from one of the town's assessments they had, right? It's an awkward building, right? It fits 4 floors, which is actually really 5 floors in a 3-story facade building, which, if you've been in it, the windows are very odd. You have a window that's kind of halfway down one floor, and then the next floor it's halfway up. So it's not your best type of old brick building to be remodeling into apartments, right? Considering when you look at traditional mills and things like that, those are set up with better opportunities for redevelopment. Wouldn't mind the next slide. And I guess I'll just point out one other thing on the or on the building condition. Certain floors, like for example, the second floor, which has is broken down into office space. We do believe that is salvageable. Obviously, certain elements would need to be repaired on the structural aspect of it, but the interior with, light restoration, of course, new carpeting, new paint, and all sorts of that, and some slight remodeling of the actual layout. But we do feel that second floor offers the opportunity for kind of a quick, or I shouldn't say quick, but the best floor that can get turned around the fastest, considering development of the apartments. On the other floors would take a lot longer, but the offices and ideally the first floor are in a little bit better condition that we'd be able to kind of, in a more timely manner, get those open to the public and utilized. As far as the vision, of course, I wouldn't mind back to the vision slide. As far as the vision goes, right, that's where we came from to help revitalize downtown. That's the driving force of our project, and you guys here at the town as well, right? And in the other proponents as well, is to really revitalize downtown. We're all members of the community. We love our town. I think it's the best town in the Commonwealth, but at the same time, we have a downtown that certainly could use some revitalization and kind of a little bit of effort and activity to get entertainment and other opportunities and to bring people down there, right? I think that's the biggest issue a town like Northborough faces, is we're not out and about in downtown enjoying what we have to offer. So we created our downtown entertainment hub and community space for all members to enjoy. We looked at the 2024 downtown revitalization plan and really focused on scenario 1, which is to utilize 4 West Main Street as a catalyst downtown, or in the middle of downtown, to really drive economic activity and entertainment as well. And this project heavily supports the Blake Street as a vibrant pedestrian-oriented street. And the quick overview of our project is we are planning for apartments on 2 floors, offices, and a co-working space, collaborative co-working space, which is very popular and has a great draw, especially for a community like Northborough, where you may have individuals who are working from home or commute into the city. But now if Northborough is able to offer co-working spaces, right, that's one more appeal where individuals may, in addition to obviously the great education that we have, they may look at this as a good opportunity where they can work from home, at the same time have a downtown office space that's affordable. And the biggest benefit, I believe, of our project is the community space. Wouldn't mind the next slide. So we envision an entire floor of community space, and that's reflective of our purchase price, which is significantly lower than the market value, or the current value of the property. But we draw on our rationale for that offer price is we envision 1 floor. We're still determining which one based off kind of the needs of it, but ideally one either the 3rd or 4th floor, which were the gyms. If you remember, it used to be an anytime I think it was a 24-hour Anytime Fitness on the second and third floors. So they're pretty much open, large spaces, which is ideal for the community space that we envision, which would have a large multi-purpose room on one end and then have purpose-built rooms. So for example, you could have a game room, you could kind of have like a tumble room or a yoga room where it's got the padded floors and the mirrors on the walls, so that individuals could, rent the space and come in and have their yoga class, or the little kids could do kind of, like the tumble room, if you will. And then on the first floor, we're envisioning the restaurant, targeting kind of a micro brew pub or something of that nature, which would really appeal to the demographic of the town. And then, of course, the basement, we looked at, okay, what can we do to kind of, it's a great space, especially it's very bright. And the one thing that's interesting about that building, especially when we toured it and the lights were, mostly off, but it's still very bright in there. So the large windows do have a benefit of that. But we are looking at a escape room in the basement, which again is just a low budget, easy to get going. At the same time, just a nice little entertainment activity. It would pair well with the bowling alley that's next to it. Sorry, if we could go back one more. Oh, sorry, no, got ahead of myself there. Let's find the next slide. Perfect. So Blake Street, right? I think that this is what we feel. We talked in our project about beyond the building, right? Blake Street is a great opportunity to really be a nice, strong anchor to get people downtown, especially a pedestrian-friendly street. So we envision the sidewalk tables that you see there, that would, obviously be for the restaurant, but we also envision certain ones would be open for if anyone was downtown in that area, they could sit down and enjoy or bring their lunch, or, get lunch from pizza place across the street, whatever it may be. We also looked at, and obviously this would be something that would require the town involvement and support of, but I went to school up in Burlington, Vermont, where we have Church Street, which is one of probably the top pedestrian streets on the East Coast, right? And we feel that, we're not going to try to recreate that in Northborough, but we do feel that this street offers a good opportunity for a pedestrian street, something specifically maybe on a Friday and Saturday. So a lot of towns of similar situations like Northborough will dedicate a street that closes down, say, Friday at 3 p.m. and is closed all the way till maybe Saturday at 8 p.m. It's open, the rest of the days during the week. But we envision, and if you go back one to that map that I have up there, it's kind of hard to see, but you see there's a light gray area immediately next to the building. That would only be the area we would suggest kind of making it the pedestrian zone. So you'd still have full access to all these restaurants in and out, but you just wouldn't utilize that place on like a Friday and Saturday. And that would be a good opportunity for, example, Friday food trucks, Saturday farmers markets, art shows, things like that. And, that's a cornerstone of the project, is not just about the building, but really leveraging that as the anchor for that immediate area and the Blake Street as well. So kind of jumped back and forth there, but if you wouldn't mind, I think we can go to the next one. So development and timeline, we looked at a 3-phase development project. The first one being the structural elements in the existing, in the exterior and the ground. So really securing the building and, ensuring that we can then safely work on it. Renovations of the office space and retail space in the common space would be phase 2, because again, the restaurant development, we would clean it up but wait for the development of that until we had a restaurant party interested in that particular one. But for example, the office space and the co-working space, those could be a much quicker turnaround that would demonstrate, the viability of the project, and the townspeople would be able to see, activities happening and seeing it opening, and not just kind of everything behind the curtain, if you will, until the entire project is done. The largest part of the build out would be the apartments, right, on the either 3rd and 4th or 4th and 5th floors. And that would take significantly more time to build out, and obviously would be the largest pull on the budget aspect as well. If you wouldn't mind the next slide. So we had discussions with Clinton Savings Bank, their commercial business division. They're very interested in the project. We looked at development costs around 2.5 to 2.6 million. That's taking into account, on the higher end of the various improvements, renovation, new build out, construction contingency, and soft costs. And we received a few different estimates, and of course our Mark there with Neshoba Valley, he was able to really kind of tie in and look at what we're doing and go through and what we feel give us a as accurate as it could be for the stage budget of what we're trying to do. If you wouldn't mind the next slide. So this is the financials once the project is underway, and we looked at the various units. And again, you'll note there that the community space, for example, with the zero income, that entire floor dedicated to the community space. The idea is that the income from the apartments and the rental spaces in the offices cover the cost for the building, so the community space is able to be offered for the residents of the town. And again, it's one of those things where if you wanted to come in and say, for example, rent the room, we would envision offering it in similar how the Recs department does for a very nominal fee. But the idea is that the costs of the building are covered by the other leased units of the building. We went, just to err on the side of caution, we went the 80% occupancy rate based off our numbers, which again, these numbers, even in particular when working with the bank, they felt like they were pretty conservative because again, we don't want to price it to the point where no one's renting the units. We'd much rather have the units filled, get the activity down there, get the energy going, and create the success there rather than having a higher price point that really doesn't drive full utilization of the building. And I believe there's another slide for the operating expenses. Oh, it didn't? Okay, yeah, it didn't make that one. I had emailed the slides, or emailed a slightly different version that was missing that one slide, but I can send it after. Is that the last slide? Okay, yeah. So I know we kind of went through that pretty fast, but happy to dive back into the details or kind of go through some questions. And again, we'll try to provide all the information we can today. And if there's anything we need to send kind of with a follow-up, we're happy to do that as well.
Nick, just a clarifying question.
Yeah.
So your role in the team, just help me understand.
So project manager, essentially.
Project
So
manager,
my background
yeah.
is on the historic aspect of it, right? We would contract with Neshoba Valley Services for the build out. I would be working with them on the project management side of it. And, they would kind of maintain or be the driving force of the development aspect of it.
Is there anyone from that entity here tonight?
Not here tonight, but certainly are able to kind of connect you with them and, via email or whatever it may be.
So I have a question about
Yes.
filling the space.
Yes. Yep.
Right? Obviously in Northborough, there are, and in very close proximity to this building, a number of underutilized and vacant buildings.
Yes.
So it's sort of a multi-part question, all leads to the same thing,
Okay.
right? How are we going to distinguish this building or these spaces from other spaces? Do you have a marketing budget for doing that? And I lost my train of thought on the third piece.
I can answer the first
Answer the
two.
first two, I'll
Yeah,
think of the
okay.
other piece, yeah.
So, and of course I forgot the first one, but I'll answer the second one, the kind of the marketing and filling this space.
Yeah.
I think we, at the high level, that's why we're really going to be price conscious, right? In our view, and my background coming from the historic preservation and being involved with startups and kind of entrepreneurial mindset would be to really price it at a point where you can bring individuals in, especially on the restaurant example or in these other spaces where you have a kind of a build up or ramp up period. So it'd be less expensive to get in, see if it's viable. Because at the same time, we don't want tenants in there that are failing, right? So the idea is not to lock someone into a 10-year lease that, the lawyer's getting involved with, right? The idea is to kind of bring in, work with, the individuals. Furthermore, I think kind of one of the questions may be, why does this building appeal versus the other ones that are immediately around it? And, great question, right? I guess I didn't, kind of think of that one, but that's certainly something I'll be thinking a lot about. I mean, I think right off the bat, if we can do the Blake Street right, or do Blake Street well, I think that brings in a lot of interest in the building because it's right there, right? So if that place is, I don't want to say packed, right? But if there's 3 or 4 food trucks there on a Friday night lining Blake Street and there's a little bit of excitement, energy, and people going, I think that's when people are going to be more drawn to that building as seeing that has some potential there. Now, I think with our view on the offices, right, and collaborative co-working space, which you know, we feel that that's another great way to bring in individuals who maybe aren't necessarily looking for a two-room office suite, something like that. They want that more shared space or that more collaborative workspace that also adds a little bit more of a environment. Like if, I'm not going to say that our Northborough co-working space is going to be anything similar to like a Boston co-working space, right? I think there's going to be a lot of differences, but we do feel that that will draw in that community element might draw in some of those professionals who maybe look at a vacant storefront that they're all on their own, just dealing with that themselves. Maybe that's not as appealing versus a kind of co-working space where you might have a little bit more of a community. Again, kind of just thinking of these as we're going through it. I have to put more specific thought on that one.
I did think of the third piece.
Okay. Yes.
Which is, I noticed in your examples or your exemplars, you mentioned, the last one on there was like 2019 or something like that. At least the ones you listed. I'm sure you've done other things.
Yes, yeah.
Early on. Do you have any examples of something similar to this where you've come in, you've renovated, and you've filled a building like this?
Not to this magnitude.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? And obviously, now that's my specific experience, right? The development company has done projects to this magnitude and beyond, right? You know what I mean? The library, I believe, was, tens and tens of millions of dollars. The public, there's one other public building that they did. So similar in that, and they've done mixed use buildings, but specifically, I don't know if that answers kind of your question.
Yeah, so it's a big project.
Yes, absolutely. No, of course it is. Absolutely. Yep.
And, oh, sorry. Go ahead, Leslie.
Thank you for being here.
Of course.
Are you prepared to find some things that maybe you didn't think existed when you dig into that building? And how
Absolutely.
prepared are you for that in terms of contingencies?
So, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think with any project, you always find things that you don't know about, whether they're hidden in the walls or staring right you in the face until you notice them. We did build in some contingencies. We are, we went on the second site visit, and we are working with an engineering firm to really dive in deeper to some of those situations. I think a lot, I guess to specifically answer your question, I mean, we know that things like that are going to happen. We did try to, on the budget, kind of go on the leave room for it. And, the idea is to kind of handle it as it arises. And I think that's the other aspect of really making sure we understand what we get into and kind of leverage the best experts to kind of ideally point out as much of that ahead of time.
Okay.
Mike?
Yeah, thanks. My question kind of, again, going back to the prior projects that you had listed.
Yep.
When you listed, right, the police station, the library, were those like sort of derelict municipal buildings that were taken over and then repurposed for mixed use? Or were those just renovations for them to continue their municipal use? Or any of those projects, if you could kind of provide some color as far as their scope, their
Yes.
size,
So,
what they were used for?
I can on a few of them that I'm familiar with, but Mark will kind of be the best to answer that. I know that the library was a new build, so, new build ground up. I believe the Woods Hole Institute was a redevelopment project, but I specifically could kind of get with Mark, and he could maybe kind of put together some expanded bullet points on that I could send over.
Yeah, I think that would be good. And then also sort of related to kind of filling the property, right? So pretty specific, right? Saying, okay, I'm targeting a micro brew or brew pub on the first floor, escape room, fairly specific for the basement. Do you have data? Do you have sort of clients that you've worked with in the past or something that sort of says that you've got a need or you could fill that with that specific type of business? Or
Yeah, and of course, we're flexible, right? That was kind of the example of, that's why we, wanted to mention it as a target. We're very flexible to what the ultimate, restaurateur wants to do. But we do feel that just when you look at, like the brew pub, for example, those are I don't have specific data, right? But definitely very popular amongst other towns that are locally around here, right? And I think it kind of fits the vibe, because what we didn't want to do, and, maybe this is kind of a different opinion than you guys, but we didn't want to aim towards the high-end fancy restaurant, right? Northborough has enough of those. We don't feel that that is enough of an appeal to kind of the energy and the vibe that we're going for. So that's why we're thinking maybe the brew pub which lends itself to kind of more of those food trucks kind of cohabiting. That's a very common business element, right? You have your brew pub, they might offer a few or a select menu, right? And then you have the food trucks that show up on the weekends that offer kind of a more diverse thing and kind of gets people outdoors and going. As far as the escape room, I mean, that was, again, where looking at that, and again, because the other point is, our vision is to maintain and manage the project going forward. So that would be something that we would operate ourselves, kind of look at a low budget. And that was really to bring kind of an entertainment aspect, right? When you look at the, what drove that was the bowling alley next door. It's, there's a lot of bowling alleys that will have escape rooms and things like that. So that's kind of where we went with that notion. But again, not locked into that opportunity. We're just kind of put that out there as the vision to help kind of, paint the vision, I guess, if you will.
Okay, and just one last one. Of
course.
As far as sort of the structure and how everything is set up, just so everyone's on the same page, NRB Trust would be the one who would own the building?
Yes, yes.
And then Neshoba Valley Services, you say responsible for build-out, so they're responsible for bringing in the contractors and getting the estimates and getting the materials done, and then you would be the project manager on this project?
Yes.
Okay.
Have you done a project together before, or is this the first one together?
No, we've worked before, yeah.
On the projects you've outlined, those are ones that you worked together before? The entity is a little, I want to make sure I understand it, it's not.
So no, I was not involved in those projects. I'm familiar with them just in, as we build out our relationship, but I was not involved in those projects, a little bit on the library, but not kind of on the development side of it.
How did it come together with you work, like with the structure?
So my dad is in the construction business, and this is someone that he has worked with and known for years. So when we were looking at the what we wanted to do with the project, we pitched him on the idea and the concept, and he viewed this as a good, something he wanted to be involved in. So we've been working together to kind of put this together and obviously bring in some other individuals as well. Does that kind of answer your question?
It's more insight, thank you.
Okay, of course, yeah.
Also, parking.
Yes.
What do you envision based on your vision? in
forgot
terms
to
of
mention that, yes.
Dedicated versus non-dedicated parking spaces. What's your view of that?
Yes, so that's one of the things that I think is really for the conversation here, because when we looked at what we wanted to do and then we looked at the zoning requirements, we would need a lot of parking spaces if we look at how the zoning requirements are today. Now, we did, part of this project would be to hopefully get some variances on that, so we wouldn't need as many parking spaces. Our original proposal, we looked at kind of one dedicated spot per apartment. Now, of course, the actual zoning requirements would be that you need 1.5 or 2 per apartment, depending on, 2-bedroom or not. So that's one of those things where hopefully the town would be supportive of a variance of that, especially considering there's invested interest on the towns to maintain the parking spots for themselves. So we would aim to limit that. We would certainly want at least 1 spot per apartment, but we would not be asking for any more beyond that unless it was required to do the development from a zoning standpoint. So we do really want to try to preserve the parking. And I mean, obviously, when we kind of outlined some of the parking locations on there as well. I think it is a challenge for this particular property, right? Especially with the notion that on one hand, if the town keeps all the parking, right, and then doesn't do a variance, then kind of can't do anything with the building, right? If there's no parking and all the zoning requires set amount of parking. So I think that's something where the town would really have to almost lead that part of it and say, hey, we're willing to negate all the zoning requirements if you leave us all the parking, and kind of have the visitors and residents kind of fend for themselves, if you will, and figure out their own parking. Or I think a nice compromise is that maybe 1 spot dedicated per apartment, and then the rest is public parking, and ideally have correlating, hopefully the offices would be more daytime and the restaurant more evening, so you'd have that kind of transitionary spaces utilized for both.
Nick, would you mind putting the cost slide up for reference that has the investment piece? Not sure who's controlling. I got it. Thank you. And then when it comes to the estimates, where are you in the process in terms of professional estimates and bringing people in, and the confidence interval you have there?
Yeah, so we kind of, and you'll notice that these numbers are actually different from the proposal we sent in, and because we've kind of refined that. So as we're going through, we are getting more detailed on those numbers.
The next slide with the investment piece, not the, yeah. Thank you. These ones don't look the same to me, right? These changed? Or no, the project, not the,
So
the funding.
So this is going to change, yes, from the one that you received. This is, because we looked at there being more renovation, and then we had the conversation with the bank.
Yep.
And they, based off, because, they're looking at the value of the building post-construction, and that's how they determine what they would loan out. So in kind of going through that conversation with them, we looked, and one of the engineers, that there needed to be more kind of, more of a budget for the renovation and to potentially cover any unknown aspects of it. So that did change by about $500,000.
So it's roughly $2.1 million prior, and now it's 2.26.
I believe it
Ish.
was, yeah, I think it was closer to like 1.9.
Yeah, it's a little
Yeah.
more than, right?
Yeah, so
Okay.
600, 700.
Thank you.
And I think the contingency affects those numbers, right? Because, the idea is hopefully those aren't tapped into, so that does change the math on that end.
And where did you find you wanted to increase your estimate? What area between the two
The
different?
kind of the roof and dealing with the water aspect of it and the envelope of the building, right? Because at first we kind of looked at it and said, okay, great, this is, the 2 floors that were for the gym, right? You pretty much, I mean, there's some walls to knock down, but you pretty much have the exterior frame of the building that would be ideal for putting in the apartments, less the fact that the windows are kind of make for some awkward apartments for sure. So that kind of changed it, looking at, and, obviously the exterior work, and also the windows don't open. So for the apartments, we would be looking at maybe even, having to do new windows on, for that, because I don't think anyone wants to be in an apartment with no windows that open.
Thank you. Any other questions from the board?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
So these, we have some time to mull over and fill out.
Yeah, they were pretty much for discussionary purposes.
Any further board discussion on the proposals, or should we go next order of business and we can take this?
Yeah, I think we should just schedule a meeting.
I agree. I think
agree.
that's the best course.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. And that brings us to next order of business, evaluation of the fire chief finalist and possible appointment. We are continuing the select board's process to appoint Northborough's next fire chief. Over the past several months, the board has participated in a comprehensive search process that included a professional recruitment effort, an assessment center, review of candidate qualifications, and public interviews with the finalists. We appreciate the time and effort each candidate invested throughout this process and the willingness to serve the town. As part of the interview process, board members completed scoring sheets to assist them in evaluating the candidates. The scoring sheets were intended as an evaluation tool for board members and were compiled by the administration office. The scores are one factor among many considered by the board and are not intended to produce a mathematical ranking. Rather, the board will use the interview results, candidate experience, assessment center results, and overall discussion in reaching its decision. And on behalf of the board, I would like to thank each of the 3 finalists for their professionalism, preparation, and willingness to serve. Each candidate brought valuable experience and demonstrated commitment to the fire service and public safety. The board appreciates the time and effort each invested in this process, and I thought the candidates represented themselves very well. To assist the board in this discussion, I will now turn over to the town administrator, Steph, who will review the categories from the scoring sheet and identify the highest average score received in each category.
Thank you. The categories scored were focused on leadership ability, communication skills, strategic thinking, labor relations approach, ability to work with municipal leadership, and overall fit for Northborough. The overall results from highest to lowest were Keith Darling scoring highest 5 out of 6 categories, then Mark Sadowski and Neil Aspisi.
Thank you, Steph. The interview scoring results provide one piece of information for the board's consideration. The score reflects board members' individual assessments of the candidates across several categories and are intended to assist, not dictate, the board's decision-making process. In addition to the interview results, the board has reviewed each candidate's professional qualifications, experience, and the results of the assessment center conducted as part of the process. The assessment center provided an individual evaluation of competencies and readiness to serve as fire chief. And again, to Steph's point, the overall results from the assessment center from highest to lowest, well, this is new information. This is from the assessment, the third-party assessment firm that we
Harrow Consulting.
partnered with. That ranking was Keith Darling was highest, Neil Espezi was second, and Mark Sadowski was third. Taken together, these various components provide the board with a comprehensive view of each candidate's strengths, experience, and potential fit for the organization and community. Before any motion is made, I would like to open the discussion to my fellow board members. This is an opportunity for each member to share observations regarding the candidates, discuss the information presented throughout the process, and identify any factors they believe are important to consider as we determine who should serve as Northborough's next chief. At this time, I'll open the floor for board discussion.
Yeah, I'll jump in. The one thing I wanted to point out with Keith being rated as the highest is Keith would also be taking, I believe, the most substantial jump in rank. So I think when you look at the other two candidates, I think both of them may be in a position to serve in that role more capably on day one than somebody who's going to be learning it. In particular, Neil has been there, right? Neil has been serving under the existing chief, so there is a continuity element there. So I just wanted to point that out, that, he did score the highest, but he would be making the most substantial leap in terms of rank and roles and responsibility, which is not a small thing for a very big job.
Thank you. Leslie?
Okay. Yeah, I agree with what Jeff just said. My feeling is that all three candidates interviewed very well for different reasons. They all had their strengths and weaknesses. But I feel that each of them interviewed well in their own different ways. They're all professionals, and probably each one of them could do a good job as our chief. But I do feel that Neil has had a lot of nice time here as acting chief, the official acting chief since April 1, and has proven himself to be a very worthy person in that particular role. He had Dave Parenti as a mentor for quite a while. I also worked with Dave when I was previously on the board, and I know what a terrific individual he is. And I think Neil was very lucky to have had him as a mentor, and I'm sure has learned a lot from Dave. We know exactly what we're getting with Neil. There's no surprise. He's a known person, his performance is known. And even though a couple of the other candidates may have scored well in some of the other categories, I do feel that there is not a good enough reason to displace Neil. I did not feel that after the interviews and seeing the assessment scores that I was wowed so much that one person stood out absolutely so well that it was worth displacing Neil. So that's where I stand on that, and I would like to see Neil retain this position as the acting chief now, but as our chief. Thank you.
Agreed.
I think maybe just a couple of points, and thank you. And Neil has been in the role since April. He's done a very nice job. There was some divergence in the scores and this is, of course, public record but I mean, Keith Darling scored 4.36, which is very high in 5 out of 6 categories. Mark scored 4.06 and Neil scored 3.58. Those are the aggregate scores. And so there's some consistency in terms of what we, through the experience and the conversations we had, that I would like to just have further conversation on, and just make sure we're looking at this holistically in terms of each candidate's, what they can bring to the role.
Yes.
But again, I was impressed by all three candidates. Julianne?
Well, first of all, I appreciate your opinions. And Jeff, you brought up, that Mr. Darling would make the biggest leap in responsibility, but I think the way he defined being a battalion chief in Franklin, and Franklin being a very large town, I didn't really have any concerns about him assuming the role of chief in Northborough. And I have to say that Mr. Darling, stood out as an outstanding candidate. He was so clear about how he would run the department. Very clear expectations, innovation. He had a record of some really, I think, significant accomplishments in Franklin. And so for me, he's the outstanding candidate.
Thanks, Julianne.
Yeah, I again agree, with the board that all three of these gentlemen are excellent candidates. I think all three of them would have the ability to lead a fire department just, say like Northborough's. Looking at Battalion Chief Darling, I agree with Julianne. He very direct, confident in his manner, very straightforward guy. But to go back to sort of kind of maybe Jeff's thinking, he's a battalion chief. He's not a deputy chief. He didn't have that experience, even mentoring or working underneath the chief, developing, managing a department-wide budget, which he was very candid about. He was like, yeah, that's one thing I haven't worked a lot on, and I appreciated that straightforwardness from him. When I look at Chief Sadowski, I think in the interview he came across as the most confident because he has the confidence of somebody who is a chief, right? He's been there, he's done that. That did come across in the interview. But he is currently a chief of a department, sort of almost neighboring department, looking to come over here to Northborough. So I think, again, him and Battalion Chief Darling, could they come in and run the Northborough Fire Department? Sure, yeah, absolutely. And if those gentlemen weren't to get the role here, I'm sure Chief Sadowski would have continued success in West Boylston, and Battalion Chief Darling, success there until maybe he landed a chief's job somewhere else. Looking at all of it holistically, right? It's again, we have Deputy Especi, Acting Chief Especi now doing the role. And for me, similar to my other colleagues' comments, was there enough in the assessments, in the interviews, and everything to say there needs to be a change of leadership, right? Because there is leadership of our department now. And for me, I would be comfortable moving forward with Acting Chief becoming Chief Especi. I think Neil is there now. I think he's doing a good job now. I think the men and women of the department know him. He's a known quantity. There isn't going to be that sort of get to know you honeymoon period for a year of trying to feel out the new chief and kind of get things figured out. There's a lot to say, both good and constructive about any one of these guys. But for me, it was in the assessments and in the interview, again, was there enough to say there needs to be a different course taken? From my review of everything, I'd be comfortable moving forward with Acting Chief Neil Especi.
So I'm hearing support for Neil, right? I'm hearing a lot of compliments for Darling. Mark, another qualify can't. I think for me, it comes back to we elected to have a process and saying, okay, who would be the best qualified? And the gap between Chief Darling and the rest was statistically significant any way you look at it. When you look at the scores between 4.36 and 3.58, that's statistically significant. I think the things that I heard from Darling that were really interesting, the lean into AI. Like, I wasn't even thinking that. The knowledge of our equipment without even looking it up and being able to just, his command of the information. I think, you know, I think Neil has a budget growth as well. I'm not sure the gap is as big as it looks. I think Franklin's a professionalized, not that we're not, but it's a bigger town. It's you know, he's coming from that benefit of having done that. And personally, I was just pleasantly surprised at Darling's interview experience, letters of recommendation. Like, for me, it was unexpected to get, I thought it would be closer. And I expected to see the aggregate scores come back. I expected it much closer than it would be. And the aggregate scores reflect in the neighborhood of how I score, to be honest. Not that, but I think Darling stood out. Like, I think it's by a substantial amount.
Yeah, no, I mean, sorry, if you wanted to go, Leslie.
I just want to get back to something you were saying, kind of in that same category, though I had written down some notes, actually too many notes. You can see I read a lot of notes when people talk.
Not a bad thing.
Neil did mention a lot of things that I thought were interesting as well, though. He was talking about preparation technology, emergencies, drones, robots, terrorism response. I mean, he did get into a lot of those things. He did not mention AI, but he did mention a lot of things that I thought, okay, he's really thinking about the future and some things that he is anticipating potentially needing to handle. So I agree with what you said as well, but I'm just saying that Neil did also address some things that I thought were very appropriate.
I'm also just going to add, it's a little less tangible, right? But I think all other things being equal as a community, an opportunity for us as a town to promote from within, so to speak. And I think that says a lot for our town. I think it says a lot for our community. I think it goes a long way towards our potential ability to retain in town if we're able to do something like that. So I would certainly add that as well.
And what I was just going to say, John, I don't necessarily disagree with what you're saying about, you know, Keith Darling is certainly an impressive candidate. Looking at the scoring, right, the most divergent was the scoring by us as the select board, right? And none of us have any experience in firefighting or fire science or anything like that. The assessment center results, right, take it for what it is. They're simulations, right? They're tabletop. They're not like live, right? Not at like the training center in Stowe that some of us were able to go to. Those were all within a point when they were added out and aggregated out. Like, these guys were close. Clearly, some were better at some things. Like, Keith was better tactically, you know, and Neil was better at or scored higher in some other areas as opposed to Mark. But when they were all totaled out, they're within a point of one another. So I think that goes again to how impressive the candidates we got, right? And Neil got there not because he was the deputy chief acting as the chief. He got there based on his assessment scores, right? It wasn't like, well, Neil, you know, he scored down here, but as a courtesy, he was moved up to the final three or whatever. You know, his scoring earned him that spot in the final three. So again, kind of taking it for what it is, not to say that, you know, I'm sure we've all been in the room and hired people and have been on the other end of interviews. It's not fun. You know, sometimes either end of it isn't the most enjoyable thing, and that we're not good judges of character or anything like that. We're the ones who have to make that decision. So absolutely, our scores count. But when I look at it, and I look at, okay, professional firefighting assessment, those scores were darn close. So you know, again, is there enough there to say, no, we're going to go in a different direction when we do have a lot of challenges in front of us, not just with the fire department, but with the town itself. You know, I think there's value in continuity unless there's sort of a blinking red light to change direction. And I didn't get that out of those assessments or the interviews, the gentlemen, all three of their resumes, you know, anything like that.
Further discussion?
So maybe I'm missing something, but we received references from Mr. Darling And we don't have references for the other two candidates yet.
We can ask for that.
And before we make a decision, I would think we'd want to look at that.
We can. I mean, I think no one's ever going to give you a reference that they're going to say something bad. I mean, references are a little bit of an outdated methodology when it comes to interviewing. I mean, I interview hundreds of people a year, and rarely, if ever, does any decision get changed based on a reference? Because that's what a reference is. They're going to give you a positive reference.
Well, I think some references will tell more than others, and it is usually how we do things. I mean, I would like to see references on the other two, and I had asked previously, maybe not publicly, that Mr. Parrow, like, kind of cold call some of the people in these departments and see what they, what their impression of the leadership qualities.
Yeah, I think
of-
his response was, if you have a selected candidate before an offer that you wanted to push forward, he would then do a background check and follow-up references.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly respect the request for additional information or additional references. I think colleague Jeff's point that probably if we do ask for references, like, we're not going to get a bad one, right? We're going to get what we expect to hear from any of these guys, any reference that they would bring forward. It sounds like there's a majority to move in a certain direction. I'd be happy to make a motion unless somebody else would like to, or if there's, make the motion and we could have more discussion.
Well, I just, fine with either. Just ensuring that everyone feels like we've discussed it enough, and y'all are more than welcome to make a motion as well. I'm not trying to limit you to make a motion. Just in terms of the depth of candidates, and I'm hearing, and I think Neil could do the job. I just think Darling is coming in at such a higher level of impact, potential impact, that it's unusual for us to get a candidate that has this much separation. That for me, that's hard for me to, hard for me to go, because we elected to run a process. We ran a process, and we're going with there's merit in saying, hey, Neil's currently in the department. He has some experience. He's been in there since April. He's a known entity. And if that's our criteria, if that's what we're going to over-index on, then we'll get there that way. If we're going to think about it a little bit more objectively and try to weigh those together and have further debate, and we get there too. I just see enough that I don't think it's as obvious to just say, let's go with Neil.
I would, just as a bit of a counter to that, I would sort of echo Mike's comments about, like, a professional firm who knows how to do this, put them all within a point of each other. I think honestly, it's sort of humbling in my mind to even have an opportunity to interview someone for a position like this. It's kind of crazy. I would argue that the criteria that we're evaluating on are a little softer, a little less tangible, and would probably lend themselves to wider variances, right? Based on just a lot of different things, right? A nervous interviewer, or someone who just comes across as more likable, or things like that. And at the end of the day, those are all nice things, and those are all wonderful things to judge people on. But, I think we have to combine our feelings on that with what we got back from the professional evaluators, with what we, again, I'm not saying we over-index on continuity, but continuity matters. And in my mind, that's enough for me to move forward with Neil.
Leslie?
Yeah, and I do hear what you're saying, but I don't 100% agree that Keith was that overwhelming, that I felt that, this is it. We really need him. We need to displace Neil. I didn't feel that strongly about that. Yes, Keith did a great job. Mark came across well, friendly and nice and competent and so forth and so on. But I just didn't feel that there was enough of a gap there that I thought, okay, we really need to bring in somebody new. So taking into consideration everything that you said, the assessment center, what we've all done here with our scoring, I just don't feel that it's a worthwhile pursuit to get rid of our current acting chief, who really stepped in, has done a good job, knows the department. He's doing what he needs to do for the fire station. We've got a lot of stuff going forward with this department. And I just feel that Neil's the guy. So,
Thank you.
So I have to say I respectfully disagree about how we're coming to this decision. I'm hearing a lot of, Neil's been at this for 6 months or however many months and why don't we just promote from within? It's comfortable. Maybe we should have had this conversation a long time ago, which is, what are we looking for in a leader of this huge department? And I'm going to go back and just say, I think, Mr. Darling said he was going to take a fresh look. He was going to bring in some innovation. His leadership style is very different than I think Neil's is. And, I guess it's a matter of, are we going to do the comfortable thing? Or are we going to bring in someone I consider a dynamic new leader?
I don't think anything about this is comfortable.
No, but didn't you mention that it's,
I said
why bring in a new person when we?
Continuity, when all other things being equal, and it's pretty close, I think continuity matters. And I do think, as a community and as a town, it says a lot about our community and as our town with our ability to promote from within. That's not comfortable, right? But again, I do think there are longer tail elements to that matter, like our ability to retain, like our ability to recruit further down the line. If we are removing people in senior positions of authority in town, I think it might hurt us moving forward.
I want to remove Neil.
Oh, I'm saying not moving Neil.
Oh,
Sorry.
I
Yeah,
was-
yeah,
I thought we-
no, you know what I mean? No, sorry. Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like it will help our, no, sorry, I used the word, but it will help our ability to retain, I think, in the future and recruit.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I move that the Select Board vote to appoint Neil Espesi as the Fire Chief for the town of Northborough, subject to the successful completion of a background check, reference check, and negotiation of an employment agreement acceptable to the town administrator and the Select Board.
Second.
Roll call vote. Leslie,
aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Julianne,
No,
Mike.
Aye.
I'm a no, and I think Neil's capable of doing the job, but Darling stood out for me enough to have to stand by my principles and vote no on it. I think Neil is capable of doing the role. I just thought Darling was an exceptional candidate.
I think we got lucky with all three.
That's acceptable for you to think that,
Yep,
of course.
just
Yes.
wanna be clear. Like,
Yep.
this is not that, this is a no confidence vote, but
Yep.
Darling stood out for me.
Okay. Let's see.
Anybody need a 5-minute recess?
I do.
Sure.
Thank you.
5-minute recess.
Those are two heavy items.
Cry just looking at them.
All right. One order of business before we get to the agenda. Want to memorialize it by a vote of 3-2. The motion carries. Congratulations to Chief Espezie. On behalf of the Select Board, we thank all the finalists for participating in this process and for their service to fire profession. Thank you. And then next order of business, finalized collective bargaining agreement, Northborough Municipal Employees Association, discussion and possible vote.
Yes, so this, the MOA was already signed by the board in December. We had the vacation agreement, that was for the 2 municipal employees, that were here prior to 1996. We, agreed on that with the union, so this vote tonight is to take the MOA that was already signed, these 2 agreements, and put them into the big collective bargaining agreement.
So it's literally just putting these 2 vacation agreements into the.
And
larger
the MOA.
And the, okay.
Yep.
Leslie?
I have a comment, this is very
No, go right
minor,
ahead. Yeah.
very minor, it's more of like a grammar thing. On the MOA.
Yeah.
Page 4 at the bottom, under vacation advance, Part B. I don't know if it should say reimbursement to the town for the cost of. Reimbursement of is acceptable, but I think it has a different meaning than what you might mean.
Wait, sorry, is it the already signed memorandum of agreement?
Well, yeah,
Well, no, I'm just, because there was a red line version, but, okay,
Yeah.
let's see.
I don't know if it's worth just noting that, but I just want to make sure that, I don't know if there's a legalese here that something has to be stated a certain way, but it just didn't sound quite right.
Why can't I find the MOA? I don't know.
Where was it, Leslie?
It is on page 4,
At the very bottom?
the very bottom, yeah. Part 7, vacation advance, Part B. Second line, consents to reimbursement to the town for the cost of.
What,
Oh, I got
I
it.
don't
Consents to
understand.
reimburse. You see?
The MOA,
Employee consents
yeah.
of the town.
What is the confusion?
Yeah,
Uh,
and that's,
Just grammatically, it's not, I want to make sure we don't, like, get into a problem because something is stated a certain way. Reimbursement of is acceptable with a certain meaning, but I don't think this is the meaning of it.
well,
Is it too late?
it's too late. It's-
Okay.
It's signed, but
Okay,
believe me, we would be able to stand behind that with an attorney and say, of course, this is what we meant. And actually, to tell you the truth, there is a form that's attached to this agreement that, it's the reimbursement form.
okay.
So like a certain amount of
Right
legislative.
here, it's, number 15, new appendix C. So that's the payroll deduction form.
Okay,
Yeah, so we would be able to obviously counter any
Okay.
type of,
okay. And deducted from is just further down as opposed to deducted for, but, okay.
Yes.
As long as it's acceptable and there's no legal something and then
where were you back in December?
it's missing. I know, this is, I do this kind of stuff, so if you ever need me to. look-
No, great. I appreciate it.
So, okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Leslie.
Oh, sure, anytime.
Any further discussion? No? Hearing none, roll call vote. Leslie?
Oh, let me make a motion.
Oh, thank you.
I move that the Select Board vote to incorporate the Memorandum of Agreement, MOA, and the separate vacation leave agreements as approved in executive session on June 15th, 2026, into the finalized collective bargaining agreement between the Town of Northborough and the Northborough Municipal Employees Association, NMEA, and to approve the collective bargaining agreement as presented.
Second.
Roll call vote. Leslie?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Joanne?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Motion passes.
Great.
Next on our agenda, fiscal year 2027 Central Mass Regional Planning Commission delegate and alternate appointments, discussion and possible vote. This is the CMRPC delegate and alternate appointment.
Angie, do you have any background on,
So Julianne is currently the delegate. We never assigned.
Angie, you want to come up?
you can sit right here.
You can
There's a
change
mic.
it out for you.
So currently Julianne is the delegate. We didn't assign an alternate. We don't have to, but you might want to just in case. From what I understand, there's only a handful of meetings a year. You serve as a liaison between the CMRPC and the town of Northborough.
Julian, what's your experience been as delegate?
Oh, it's been a very positive experience. I've learned so much about what CMRPC does for the townships, and just even, some up-to-date legislative issues. It's a great organization, and I highly recommend that somebody, steps up and becomes an alternate. I actually think that I was just not voted in at the last meeting. So if somebody else wants it, things change all the time. I'm happy to let someone else have the experience, but
Do you enjoy it? Would you like to stay as the delegate?
I would like to stay on, but like I said, it's a great learning experience for everyone. You learn a lot about what other towns do.
I would like to nominate Julianne as delegate.
Second.
I accept, thank you.
All right, you kept your position.
Well, we haven't voted.
Do I need to make a motion here? Yeah.
Don't put the-
Stranger
we
things
should-
have happened.
Do we need to name an alternate as well, or can we just skip the alternate piece of it?
It's not required to do an alternate. It's fine.
Okay.
And if you get in a bind, we're here for you.
Where, yeah, we can.
You can jump in.
I have 4 alternates.
Just let us know. And we got your back.
Great, thank you.
I move the select board vote to appoint Julianne Hirsch as the town of Northborough's delegate to the Central Massachusetts Regional Planning Commission, CMRPC, for fiscal year 2027.
Second.
Roll call vote. Leslie?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Julianne?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
I'm an aye. Congratulations, and thank you.
And just one question, Angie, are we updating, I guess, this list?
Yeah, so
and sending it to-
we'll update it as well as planning,
meeting's
and then we'll send
Okay.
it off. It's due end of the month, so.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
This one, the Central Mass.
You know, Julianne, is the meeting recorded?
Yes,
They are, so you can
Yeah.
watch them.
yep.
Next order of business. Alcohol Beverage Control Commission, the ABCC, temporary pilot program for extended alcohol service hours, discussion and possible vote.
Yeah.
So this is for the World Cup. Legislation came out, specifically in Boston. They have, they can stay open later, and they have like public consumption areas they've made, like in Cambridge and in several Boston areas. We've only had one establishment ask about it, and it only goes to the end of July. It's a pilot program. So it's really up to us if we want to decide to do it. It's Teamworks, the replays that they have inside. Right now, they're open till midnight.
So they only get one additional hour.
It's 1 hour, right? To whatever the
Yeah.
current hours are, you add one.
Right.
Yep.
No later than 3 if they were open later for some reason.
I personally am struggling to see the upside of this.
Because nothing good happens after midnight.
Especially.
Pretty much.
I just, yeah, and there's limited appetite for it. I mean, I'm assuming it's just another hour of serving that could potentially put additional strain on the police, and I struggle to see the benefit in this for us, for this community.
If only one place is interested. And if it does become permanent, if the pilot program ends and they decide to make it permanent, then we can bring it again if we have,
And there's no, this is just extending an hour. No, there's no proposal on the table to have any area that is designated in public
I don't think we were
consumption.
eligible
I didn't
for
see
that,
any of
right?
that.
Right,
Is-
right.
yeah.
You don't-
Just an hour.
Yeah.
right. I mean, we
Yep.
could, but that's a whole nother.
No,
yeah.
I'm just make sure we're
Yeah,
clear
yeah,
on
it's
what the
just
ask
the
is.
establishments, right?
Yep.
if this comes up again, then it's not that we can participate in the future without having done the pilot?
Correct.
Yes, this is only for 1 month only.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's in July.
July
okay.
31st?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
So even if we do not do any of that, we could still,
Right, if something
Something in
else
the
came
future, if
along,
they-
yep.
Yeah.
okay.
Have any of our neighboring communities, I think, didn't Shrewsbury adopt
Yes.
something?
Shrewsbury did.
But we've had limited one establishment
one.
just proactively reach out about this.
And if we were to approve it, other establishments could come and request it as well. We're not saying one, this is the only one. If we
Right.
make a
They,
change.
they would have to come before the board and yeah, so we'd have, July 13th, supposedly gonna be our next meeting, so they would only have a couple weeks
Got it.
Right.
to partake anyways, so.
Angie, I'm not familiar with Teamworks. What goes on there? So what do they want to do? Show the games?
Yeah, so inside Teamworks, so Teamworks they do soccer, they do pickup games, kids leagues, adult leagues, they're busy all the time. They have a pool, and inside they've a place called Replays, and they have an alcohol license, so they do food and alcohol. And because they concentrate on soccer with the World Cup, they were interested in possibly taking part of this. And I think they didn't fully know exactly what the pilot program meant, so I don't know if they knew it was only for a month and that they'd have to come before the board, and then we have to submit to ABCC, so it's a process, even for the pilot program, so.
So they do serve alcohol,
They do.
Yeah,
currently.
yep, they have a liquor license.
and they have all the training. the-
Yep, they were
Tips
renewed.
trained and,
Yep.
yeah, no change there.
I mean, there's such fever about this. Why wouldn't we let the people in our town participate in? Because some of the games are going to be very late, right?
Presumably that the game that starts at 10 could end past 12 and not have to turn the lights on at 11:45 is my guess.
Uh-huh.
That's just a guess though.
That'd be kind of tough to say.
Has the PD weighed in at all?
Yes, I did ask the chief, and he said, I'd never be an advocate as police chief. End of story, but whatever, right.
But as far as resources, does he feel that it would require a lot of extra, to have an extra hour of people potentially being?
Well, he was cognizant, we're not a Boston anyway. And he was actually unsure, I said I'd ask you, because he was unsure of even how late do certain establishments stay open until.
Well,
But-
they can only add, whenever they stay open till now, they can only add an hour, is that what it was?
Correct, yep.
So if they close at 10 and somebody came before us, they can only stay open till 11 in that case, right?
Yep, and if they only had wine and malt, it doesn't change
Doesn't
that,
change it.
yes, yep.
So we could wait and see how it worked out with Shrewsbury after the pilot program, and then if the ABCC does make it a permanent thing, again, then we could talk about it then.
Shrewsbury said yes to a pilot. Westboro and Southboro,
I haven't heard, it was in the newspaper, Shrewsbury.
I mean, I'm not really as worried about what Shrewsbury and Westboro do, right? I'm just more thinking of it for us. Is it worth it?
I mean, obviously, it made sense for Boston.
Yeah,
Right.
it just seems like an extra hour of risk. In some cases, anyway.
yeah, I mean, my counter argument, as I think about it, and I tend to be a fan of less, not more regulation, is it gets you to get to the end of that last game, if there's people there, and we've all been, well, at least I have, been like on a Monday Night Football game, and I'm ready to watch the end of the game, and the lights go on, and I'm like, it's 3 minutes left, and I'm like, can't we just, and they're like, I'm like, can we stay? It's going overtime, and then, so I think there's a practical element that I'm thinking about as opposed to the Wild West, and I think it's a limited amount of, based on my unofficial research on how places are open till, I think there's maybe one other place that could qualify for this to stay open till 1 in town that's open till midnight. I'm not sure most of our restaurants currently mostly close at 9 or 10.
And just for clarification, extension of on-premise alcohol service hours, so it's serving of alcohol. So if the game was still going, they could turn the lights on and say, we're done, we've had last call, but they don't have to close their doors. Like, you could finish the game, you just can't serve.
Right.
So, you know, I get where in some communities it makes more sense, right? More walkable communities, like a Boston or even a Worcester or something like that. Obviously, not just Northborough, but even our neighboring communities are a lot more car-driven. You're driving to these establishments. Somebody has to drive home. You know, I guess I'm skeptical on the additional serving time. You know, they could, it's not like they have to kick everybody out. You know, they added 5 minutes, nope, get out. You know what I mean? It's you could still stay there and watch the end of the game. You just can't get, you know, another beer, which is maybe not necessarily a bad thing. Not that I've experienced with one too many, but.
It's there, I mean, that's why last call's for, like.
Right, right.
I don't want to speak on behalf of Teamworks, but they essentially, it was like, if they're considering this and it happens, they would be interested, not like, oh,
They
please,
haven't even
please.
specific, yeah, they haven't even begged for, yeah.
Okay. Doesn't sound like a great demand for this.
Pardon?
It doesn't sound like a great demand by the business community for this. I see Julianne's point. I do see that with the whole fever of this whole thing. But, I don't know, people aren't really clamoring for it, it doesn't sound like.
Right.
And like Mike just said, they can still hang out. They just can't
Is
get
that
another beer.
true?
I don't know. I don't know if that's true.
Oh, they can't?
I don't know.
For-
I'm
oh.
not-
That would be up to them, I guess.
I just don't know if there's, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the establishment necessarily has to, they have to stop serving by a certain time, but they don't have to close by that certain time.
I mean, generally speaking, my experience is they're generally, as you get close to that time, they're already cleaning and doing things, so midnight. people are
Sweeping the
leaving
floors.
too, like right around you, this probably gets away from that closing
Maybe they're trying to
environment.
tell you something, John, like, come on.
Time to go.
You have to leave, but you can't stay here.
Maybe the tavern's close.
That song keeps going through my head.
No, I mean, it just, I mean, this practical conversation, we're all trying to get our heads around, right?
No,
Like,
yeah.
What it really means, like, and trying to, like, understand that part of it, like.
Well, and that's the thing, like, if the tavern, or, and not to name specific businesses, but if the other bar restaurants in town have reached out saying, like, there's a need for this and we want it, you know, I think there'd be more to consider, but I don't know, just to do it, I guess, I'm not, just to be able to serve longer for games that aren't going well into wee hours necessarily.
Well, I respect your concern about the alcohol, but I think we have to somehow verify that if a closing time is midnight, that they can just, you know, extend it on their own. That is, do we,
I mean, their liquor license says serving, and that the serving is not their operation hours on their liquor license, it's the serving hours that
So the
are-
operation hours would be through the Board of Health, would it? I should know this. I used to be a health director here.
I mean, we could kind of make a motion
But
that.
I think it's more policing.
And this is my fault, I should have reached out to Teamworks before the meeting, but they, you know, if they know now, like, they'd still have to come in front of you July 13th, and they've only 2 weeks. You know, I should have reached out to see if they'd still be interested, so.
Yeah, they'd only be able to have the
Yes,
benefit of
not
it
really
for
worth it.
2 weeks anyway.
So,
Most.
yeah, so let me read the motion one more time. The motion we would make would be what motion?
To,
There's
Sounds
two,
like
there's
they're
two
declined.
options, yeah,
So we would to participate in it, and then it would be on a business to come before us.
Right.
Understood.
Yep.
I mean, well, I think this one, we don't have to drain unless board members want to. I'm open to enabling Teamworks if they would like to come and ask to stay open, to allow them to do that on this. I respect the board, whatever direction the board wants.
Yeah,
so you mean come to the July
Yeah, if they-
meeting and ask, okay.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I mean, we're all speaking for someone
Right.
that's not here, so
Right.
it's
No,
just,
Yeah, that's fair.
2 weeks.
you know.
But so, just to do that, though, first you'd have to vote to opt into the pilot.
Right.
Yes.
And then, okay,
Yeah, that we would.
Yeah, motion says authorized to
Yep.
participate in the, pilot.
But it's not a universal approval that people can stay open. They have to come
Right.
before the board. And our
Right.
next meeting is on July 13th, unless we had a special meeting to.
So
guys, yeah,
that's what I was gonna ask. So if we do opt to participate, and then all of a sudden, again, there's not that many businesses that are gonna do it anyway, but all of a sudden, if we have 7 people say, we want this, I'm not a soccer person. I have no idea how long the World Cup goes for. If they say, can we start sooner as opposed to waiting 2 more weeks? And I can understand as a business owner, if we do that, they're gonna say, all right, well, I can make an extra hour's worth of revenue here.
Yeah.
Can I get in front of you quicker? Are we gonna respond to that way? Are we gonna allow them to come before
3
us
weeks
sooner?
is a long time to wait for the next meeting.
I mean, we always have something to have a meeting for anyway, so.
I'm open.
Could we put it out and say like, get back to us in the next X amount of days, and then if we have that many, could we have a,
Even if it was remote, we could
yeah, that's
go
what I mean,
and-
like,
Yeah,
Right?
good point.
just,
We could have a brief.
right.
And, and then enable the community, enable the sport community and
Yeah.
come to a decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So just to clarify, our first vote has to be to participate. Then if we get candidates, then we meet and approve the candidates.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you guys opt in, then tomorrow I'll officially notify the ABCC that we've opted in. And then I can send out, I don't know what that entails, if I have to wait for something from them, and then I can send out something to the businesses to see who'd be interested, and then gauge it from there.
Okay.
Was that what you were going for or speaking
Yeah.
to, Jeff, or are we
Yeah, 'cause
waiting
I
on
look
the
at it
opt-
like, it would kind of be crappy to say, yeah, sure, we'll do it, but you guys have to, if we're gonna allow you to come in, we're gonna make you wait for 2 weeks to make any money from this. Like,
3 weeks, yeah.
3 weeks to make any money. Like, I feel like we should be willing to move faster. If we're gonna open it up,
do
we
too.
should,
And we can't even gauge interest without even.
telling them we're in it. Yeah,
Right, that's, yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I mean,
yeah.
How soon would it be, would they be able to do this? Is it like immediately if we say yes at a meeting to them?
yeah, you just have to vote. From what I understand, they'll come before, if there's any concerns from the chief or anybody, and then you guys vote on it, and then after I officially notify the ABCC, and again, I'm not sure if we have to wait for something from them, but then the next step would be, it's all up to the local licensing authority.
Raise their hands and say,
We just have to say which provision of the law we're participating in, so it would just be the one additional
yeah.
hour. Yep. And what entities we have that are participating, licensees, yep. Yep.
Okay, so you want me to go ahead with this motion to accept?
Do you have a
Correct.
motion to accept?
Yes, we have a motion to accept. I move that the Select Board vote to authorize the Town of Northborough to participate in the Alcoholic Beverage Control Commission's temporary pilot program for extended alcohol service hours, and authorize the town administrator to take all necessary actions to implement the town's participation.
Second.
Roll call vote. Leslie?
Aye.
Jeff?
aye.
Julianne?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
I'm an aye. Motion passes. Next order of business, Pledge of Allegiance, discussion and possible vote, and I will take public comment.
Thank you. First, I just want to, thank you folks for putting this on the agenda. I just want to take like about 2 minutes and tell you why this is important to me and others. One of the things I did when I found out it was going to be on the agenda was I posted that on Facebook on the Northborough site. And within the space of about, a little over 24 hours, there were over 60, call them thumbs up or whatever. There were over about 40 comments, only one negative, all the rest supporting it. So I think there is a lot of people out there that do support saying it. And I think it's also important to kind of talk about it a little bit. The pledge is not some radical practice. It's recited daily in our schools, from the kindergarten on up through the high school. It's said at the beginning of town meeting. The Scouts say it to start their meetings. Both the U.S. House of Representatives and the Senate say it every day that they are in session. At the Commonwealth, the Senate opens their sessions with the pledge. It's even, I found this interesting, it's recited at the conclusion of naturalization ceremonies when they swear in immigrants as citizens. The last thing they do is say the Pledge of Allegiance. Even more anecdotally, this past Friday, I attended my granddaughter's preschool graduation at Scribbles, And the first thing they did to kick off the event was the 3 and 4-year-olds led everybody with the Pledge of Allegiance. So why do we say the pledge? I think for me, the pledge reminds me of a commitment, really a commitment to community, and to shared ideals. Reciting the pledge does not mean that you support, one political party or the other. I think it's to the contrary. It suggests that we have a commitment to our community and country, regardless of which way, the winds happen to be blowing. Pledge, one of the final words in the pledge says, country is indivisible. That means we work together. It means we can't be separated. It's the exact opposite of being divisive, and it shouldn't be divisive. And I think it's a great example of why, folks like you serve on the board, why other people volunteer, and why people are able to work together. All that said, reciting the pledge, should be a personal choice. I truly believe that. And, for those that may have objections, they have the absolute right to abstain. That's part of, when you get into the indivisible with liberty and justice for all. Liberty to do what you want to do, not what somebody tells you to do. The justice for all, that should be self-evident to all of us. It's treating everybody fairly. But I think for the overwhelming majority of us who've grown up with the pledge and believe in its principles, I just respectfully ask that the board, reinstate the practice. So thank you.
Thank you. And name and address real quick.
Jeff Anderson, 260 Green Street.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Let's open up for discussion. Leslie?
Okay, yeah, I felt pretty strongly that this be on the agenda, and thank you for putting it on, John. It obviously is a topic of conversation in town, and because it affects the protocol of our board, it really needed to be something that we talk about. It's not like some other random thing happening in town that's really not important. It affects how we operate here. It really began with Jeff making the comment a couple meetings ago, and you add that to the Facebook comments, of which there were many. And the community advocate again did a poll. Right now, it is 42% yes and 54% no. I saw that fluctuate a little bit over the last couple of weeks, but I've been refreshing that article every single day, and that's where it stands right now. But let's see, as Jeff said, Facebook is primarily yes in favor. It's interesting because it seems as if the article attracted a certain demographic, for example, a certain way of thinking, and the Facebook post attracted a certain demographic, and there were some interesting comments on Facebook, and so I found that the community advocate article poll was very interesting as well. But obviously, it's important enough for people to participate like that, whether it's on social media or in a poll. And my final comment about it is that I served previously on this board for 18 years, and we did do the Pledge of Allegiance at the beginning of every meeting, and no one said anything about that at that time. Like, why are you guys doing that? That seems sort of silly. What's. And then COVID came along. I was still on the board then, and it did stop then because we were all on Zoom calls and people didn't have flags behind them and so forth. So it stopped then, and I wasn't reinstated after that. So that's my 2 cents about that. It's an important issue, and I feel pretty strongly about it.
This one's interesting for me. I found myself getting more involved as it happened. My Facebook involvement wanes in certain times of the year. This is one of them. Like, maybe it was a lot more interested in what was going on when the elections were going on and things like that. So this one caught me off guard, except people bringing it to me. One thing I did find interesting, and a couple things. I think one is like the community advocate voting, that being such a strong no. It's like, do vocal people get to win because they get to be, their voice is louder, and it is in the dissenting opinion. And this is, in my mind, listen, like, I don't think anyone here is going to question the patriotism of anyone that's volunteering for the sport. And my grandfather was in the Korean War and loved this country. But I also don't like some of the xenophobia I read and some of the words I saw and some of the accusations about people not being American, or some things about other faiths, like and libtards and Muslims. These are quotes. These aren't. So there's an ugliness that comes with this that I find it more divisive bringing it forward than I do just the status quo. And I'll be completely personal view. Like, if the pledge was here, I would not look to overturn it. The pledge is here. I'm not looking to institute it. Like, I find this to be very divisive, and that's my experience with it, and from people that have shared with me some of their concerns, and we've gotten emails on the board on both sides of this. Jeff, I see you.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way you do, right? I mean, my primary focus in coming to these meetings is do the business of the town, right? If people in town would prefer that we say it as elected officials, I'm fine with that. And if they preferred we didn't, I'd be, same thing, I'd be fine with that too, right? I'm sort of okay with whatever decision we decide to go with. I have, same thing, my grandparents, fought in World War II. I'm a very patriotic person, and yeah, I've struggled with this the same way you have, to be honest, and I didn't think I would.
Yeah, neither did
I didn't think I would. I was, okay, sure, fine, right? And, but then, when I think about the public's reaction to things and for better or worse, the way people react to things on public forums, yeah, honestly, I'm struggling with it. I'm happy, personally, I'm happy to say it, right? I think I remember it. But, I think I'm with you, John. I'm kind of like, sure.
Sure what?
Sure, I'm happy to do it if we want to do it, and yeah.
I may find it a bit more divisive than you do in terms of, like, I think there's maybe more divisiveness than just reading the comments on Facebook.
Yeah, I know there's a lot to it.
And that's just in other towns, and I'm not trying to judge Northbrook as other towns, but it's not as if every town has this instituted. Some do, some don't, and Julianne.
So I think that we have to acknowledge that in this political climate, there is a division, and bringing this topic forward now it has obviously already divided us. There's, as you have pointed out, some unpleasant comments on Facebook, and I just don't want to see that continue to happen. I don't see how saying the pledge at the beginning of a meeting is going to advance our business. It's a declaration of patriotism, but aren't I patriotic enough by volunteering to serve? And everybody else who comes to the meetings and watches the meetings, I don't see the need for it, and I think that it will divide the town more.
Mike?
I think, though, to a certain extent, tradition and a sort of civic ritual is important, right? That you're making a pledge to the flag, and the flag, as the pledge says, it's not to a person, it's not to a political party, to a group, it's to the American Republic and the laws and ideals of the Constitution. You still don't, you're within your rights to obviously not recite it, and no one should question your patriotism if you choose not to do that. I would be in favor of it because it just seems like that, one, it was the tradition of the select board to do the pledge until COVID put everyone behind a computer screen, and I guess maybe doing the pledge to a flag emoji loses a little something, right? It's not an actual flag, right? And it was just sort of forgotten in the craziness of COVID, and when things came back, it was just, it seemed like more of an oversight than anything else. But now here we are. I think we've gotten to our select board email probably the most emails on any topic I've been involved with since I got my email almost this is my third year on the board. Like, this is the most, so I think, yes, there's important stuff we have to get to. We got to some really important stuff tonight. But I think discussing this was important. There's a lot of not just social media, but direct outreach to the board. I'm in favor of doing it. Obviously, the America and we like any great human endeavor, the United States has fallen short plenty of times, right? That the pledge isn't trying to wipe that stuff clean, whether it's stuff from our past or stuff going on now. It's not a guarantee against tough times, but to me, it's almost like that reminder or a salve of that, when something may seem wrong or call into question, and like you kind of replay it in your head, and it's because you've repeated it, it sort of maybe grounds, just speaking for myself, kind of grounds you a little bit in sort of like a way of civic right and wrong, right? For liberty and justice for all, right? That's that ongoing pursuit. We're still trying to get there. I'm myself just describing more and talking about it more than even the pledge takes to recite, which is like, what, 15 or 18 seconds? So, I just think it, for what it's, the flag and the republic that it stands for belongs to everybody. So for people to go on social media or through our emails saying that it's only for my group or my skin color or my religious group, it's not for these other people, I mean, that's just nonsense, right? I mean, that's not what the Pledge of Allegiance is asking you to stand up and repeat, and that's not what this flag stands for. I'm kind of repeating, right? I get some of the stuff that we've already said, but I'd be for saying the Pledge of Allegiance, just to have that sort of shared civic piece at the beginning of our meeting, where we're kind of all on the same page. And yes, we're doing the pledge as an individual, but we're also doing it as a group and showing people that we're all, no matter how chippy it might get, we're all united. And I think not only for us on the select board, right, but for, the whole branch of the government, from the president all the way down to us on the lowest rung of executive leadership, right, of a town. And there's many in the in-between, right? We take an oath, we take a pledge. I'd be okay with reciting that pledge at the beginning of a meeting, or at least having the option to, right? I'm not looking to make anybody in this room.
Yeah, I'm not as optimistic about people not caring if someone participated or not. I think that would become I think that would not be just, I think that person would face scrutiny in the public.
Yeah, I think we either count it.
So like, that I do think, and I'm reluctant to put that on other board members, that will supersede me. This is not the hill, like, when I look at the priorities on this, out of respect for Leslie and the resident that wanted, obviously, let's put it on the agenda. Community advocate polls, 53% no. There's a lot of people out there that aren't vocal, that are saying something that we need, that I feel like is my fiduciary responsibility to listen to. Again, the pledge to me and my list of important things on board agendas, it's pretty low. Like, it's harder to get much lower on it because of all the important stuff I think we need to do for doing the Pledge of Allegiance. But I have complete respect for people that appreciate it, want to do it. It doesn't mean that anyone loves the country more or less. I just think that there are unintended consequences to changing it.
I agree with you.
Mike and I could say it in the hallway or something after, before the meetings.
I mean, yeah, and yeah, if
But-
people choose to.
But to your point, it is, we're a team to a point, but we all agree to disagree at times. We're not elected so that we all agree all the time.
Yes.
People actually wouldn't like that. They would say, gee, you're colluding, you're commiserating. You're not supposed to agree with each other all the time. So we agree to disagree, and we do it diplomatically and so forth. And I just feel like saying the pledge at the beginning is that, you know what, we're all here together. We do acknowledge that we're not going to agree on things, but this is a reminder that, there's a unified thing going on here as far as the work for the town. But the one thing I did forget to mention is the fact that, the emails that came in, there were 13 in favor and 4 no. So it really did run the gamut as far as where the positive and negatives were. Social media versus the emails versus, what was the other thing?
Social media is not a negative place.
No, it is not at all. So it is an interesting topic, and yes.
Yes, it
And
is.
it's supposed to be unifying, but yes, it can be divisive at times too. I understand that.
Let's, comfortable going to a vote?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, roll call vote. Leslie?
Do we need a motion first?
Oh, sorry, I get excited. Check, keep me in check.
I can make a motion. I move that the select board vote to incorporate the, oh, no, wait, we've got three options here.
I mean, it's your motion, so you can choose which one you choose to.
Right, right.
Optional.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I think I know where it's, okay, so I move that the select board vote to begin each regular meeting with an opportunity for those present who wish to participate in the, it's almost like,
Politically correct.
right. Who wish to participate in the recitation of the Pledge of Allegiance. That almost sounds
I'll
weird.
second that, but can we have a little discussion?
Yeah.
About that discussion point?
Please.
Yeah.
Prior to the vote. I don't want to make anyone feel bad, though. I really don't want to do that. If there's someone that's not comfortable doing that, I like the idea of doing it, but I don't want it to be an awkward moment for everybody.
Yeah, that's why I maybe misinterpreted what I said, but that's why I feel it's almost like we either vote to do it or we vote to not.
I agree, and I think that.
Optional just, it potentially puts someone.
And we're making decisions for future select board members, which
Yeah.
is like the thing, and I'm reading into more of what's the people that are motivated to post or proactively do it because they're interested in it, but looking at how people vote when they vote on Community Advocate. It's like, Facebook's not properly representing the divisiveness of this. That's really, and for me, I just get really anxious about more division. But I do agree, like, maybe, do we have a second for maybe we can make another motion? Do we have a second for Mike's? If we don't have a second, we could go to a motion.
Yeah, I could withdraw the motion. So if we just want to straight up and down, more like
I think so.
the motion, the first motion.
Yeah,
All right.
I think so.
So I move that I withdraw my motion. But then, bring back another motion. I move that the select board vote to incorporate the recitation of the Pledge of Allegiance at the beginning of regular select board meetings.
Second.
Roll call vote. Leslie,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Julianne,
No.
Mike.
Aye.
I'll support the board. I think this is, I'll do aye to support the board, but, this is one where I don't have reservations on.
Could have just passed out flag stickers.
I mean, yeah.
Just kidding.
All right, so motion passes. Let's get back to the agenda.
Okay.
Next up, review and establish select board meeting dates for the remainder of 2026, discussion and possible vote. Let's get our phones out.
On the agenda, you'll see the little brackets that Angie put up.
My only comment right out of the chute is I am not available on July 13th.
Okay.
I am like 99% probable not available on August the 24th.
Do we need 2 meetings in August? Do you feel pretty strongly about
I
that?
think we will.
Mr.
I think,
Chair?
I
Okay.
think things are gonna pick up. I think we should have them, and if for some reason,
Okay.
yeah.
And is one of those dates the financial summit? Or is that a separate date? Didn't we do that in August?
That's a separate date.
Okay.
That's a separate date, yeah. Oh,
So you-
sugar, hold on.
you got-
I think, financial planning needed a joint meeting. Is Jason, Jason, of course, isn't here because, hold on, let's see. Okay, you can go on to the other dates and I'll find this out. Let's see. So are you keeping July 13th regardless?
I can do July 13th. I don't know about others. I can also put it out a day if it was a day. I mean, I don't know when people's true vacations are, like, so. I'm
That
thinking
week,
for the-
that's, I'm gone.
Yeah, yeah, so the week's out, the week's out.
Yep.
Yeah. I can do the 13th.
I can.
I can.
I could also do the week of the 6th if we wanted to move it up a week, but I can do both. I can do the 13th.
Yeah,
Mike, are
I
you
think-
available the 13th?
July 13th should work for me. So the
Okay,
only
so-
date that didn't for me was the 24th of August.
July 13th is okay without you. Oh.
Try not to miss me too much. Yeah.
I'll just text.
So 13th, we're gonna book. August 10th work for folks? Any of these dates not work for folks? I'm kind of checking as I go.
They work for me.
The only watch out is perhaps, not for me, is it Thanksgiving the 3rd Thursday or the 4th, or the last Thursday of a month?
The last, right?
Yeah, so
I
the
think it
23rd could be on Thanksgiving week if that's a travel week for anyone. It's not for me, but just to keep in consideration if we're looking at dates.
That's a good point.
Other than that, it seems pretty,
And then we have them on back-to-back weeks in December? Oh, because Hanukkah, okay.
I'm personally fine with this calendar, and if people aren't, like, raise your concerns and we can look at other dates.
Yeah, one date, I think I'm good.
Yeah, if we could keep the 13th, that would be great.
How's it look, Mike?
Yeah, no, I mean, I want to say the only date that's kind of a no for me is that date in August, the 24th. But if there's maneuvering to occur, I guess, so that everyone can attend, I can be flexible, but I don't know if we're figuring that out now, or,
Is the week of the 24th vacation week for you, or is that one day?
it's that week, so yeah.
I think
I'll be
I
out
think
of the
maybe
state.
we move forward with the dates as proposed, because moving,
I think everyone would have a week.
yeah, I
that's
think
more
with the week vacations, I
Summer.
think they fall where they fall.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Julian, do you have a motion?
Oh, yes.
I think just the second one, Julian.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I move that I move that the Select Board vote to approve the proposed meeting schedule for the remainder of calendar year 2026 as presented.
Second?
Roll call vote. Leslie?
Aye.
Jeff? Aye. Julianne?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
I'm an aye. We have our calendar.
Okay.
Next on the agenda, approval of meeting minutes for June 8th.
So Julianne brought it to my attention that on, let's see, what pages, I wrote Division Farm, it said Davidian's Farm. So Jeff, if you don't mind, if you guys are okay with the rest of the meeting minutes, just to approve as amended, and I'll make sure that's fixed when I post them.
Well, you know what, I was gonna ask the question, Mark was the person who did the presentation on the?
Mark Haiti?
Yes, did Mr. Katie say division, or, because it would be a different change?
No, I believe he did say Davidian's firm.
He did,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, I will double check that, but that's my memory, I think.
Yeah, I think he did. If I remember correctly, he did say it was.
Okay, as well as, if you both remember that he said Davidian, then I would suggest that we correct that.
Perfect, I can definitely do that.
So, I move that the select board vote to approve the meeting minutes of June 8th, 2026 as amended.
Second.
Roll call vote. Leslie?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Joanne?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is approved. Meeting minutes are approved, June 8th. And that brings us to reports, and I think Steph put it on our desk.
I did. I'll just go over a few highlights. The Peaslee School Building Committee selected option B1 as the preferred MSBA solution. The project calls for new construction on the existing campus and will now move into schematic design and cost development. The town's fiscal year 27 congressionally directed spending request for communication upgrades submitted through Senator Markey and Senator Warren's offices has advanced to the Senate Appropriations Committee for further consideration, so cross your fingers. Congratulations to the Corbin family, whose Whitney Street home became the first privately owned residence in Northborough to be listed on the National Register of Historic Places. The home dates to approximately 1820, that's what they approved, but portions of the house went back to 1755, and the process took him over 5 years to complete, so that's persistence. Stay tuned for another installment of Discover Northborough featuring sassy, crassy, and creative, and highlighting one of Northborough's unique small businesses. It was really adorable, and you will love it. Residents continue to have the option of requesting inclusion or exclusion from the Central Mass Mosquito Control Spraying Program.
Question on that, Steph? Is everyone included unless they ask to be excluded? What is?
Yes.
Okay, so if you don't want to be part of it, you should raise your
Then-
hand.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Or is
Thank
it
you.
oh, sugar, wait a minute.
They have
No,
like
is it the opposite? It's online.
They have like a spraying schedule they post, and
Yes.
you can go, I know you can opt in if you don't see your street or your area,
Right.
and you can ask for your street to be on it.
Yes, because a resident requested it.
Right. I haven't seen the exclusion part, but they have a really good website, so
Okay.
they should be able to.
Yeah, double check that.
I did do that. There's a opted out.
Oh, opt out.
Yes, because they do some, like larvae, some different things. So you can click on a link, and then you just put your name and address and the two things that maybe you don't want, and they say, okay, submitted. All right, great, thank you. So it sounds like it's both. You can opt
you
into
can opt
something, and
in
you
if
can
you
also
don't
opt out
yeah,
of general
exactly, yeah.
spraying. Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
because I.
Thank you.
yeah.
I was just curious, are we able to, with our municipal properties, request spraying from them, or will they
They automatically do, right? Like
yeah, I
Ellsworth
think-
Park and
automatically do it?
the
Yeah, I
perimeter.
can check. I'll check the mapping.
Yeah, we'll check on that. The annual Be Well event, the last day of school, will take place June 25th from 1 to 4 p.m. That will be fun. For the first time in some time, all firefighter apparatus are in service. Good news. Northborough has also joined the Massachusetts Wildfire Team, providing valuable incident management experience to firefighter Colin King. So he gets to go out west to field train at no cost to the town. And, once he comes back here, he can equip his own team. So it is a really great experience for him.
Is it, so do they also cover the compensation and having someone else replacing him that would normally be on? Is it truly no cost?
I'm not positive on that, but I know the cost of bringing him there. It's almost like he's away for a course.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, just
Yeah.
trying to better understand. Thank you.
Yep. Officer Ryan Clark was recognized by Mothers Against Drunk Driving after making 31 OUI arrests. Go Ryan. Under new state audit requirements, this is important, everyone, residents who fail to return their annual census will be placed on the inactive voter status and required to provide proof of residency. Inactive voters may experience delays at the polls while their registrations are verified. Vote by mail applications will be mailed out shortly from the town clerk's office, so make sure you absolutely fill out your census. The quilting group donated a beautiful Americana-themed quilt that is now proudly displayed at the senior center. You should see it, it's beautiful. Framingham State University recently hosted an event connecting professors with senior centers to develop new educational opportunities. Through this, the staff will introduce a new nutrition program for the bistro and are exploring a future fashion show for the seniors, so watch out on that catwalk. Northborough has been accepted into the Massachusetts, oh, I already said that, sorry.
Yeah, double.
Northborough Police have been assisting FIFA World Cup public safety operations at Gillette Stadium, also known as Boston Stadium, and supporting Marlborough's watch party operations. Officers remain available to assist Foxborough as needed. And I guess it's so costly to get the licensing and everything. But yeah, a lot of people are into that. Utility bridge projects on School Street and Otis Street are underway to improve underground infrastructure. Also, the Route 9 water main extension project is expected to begin in the coming weeks as permits and related paperwork are finalized. Overall, departments are busy with year-end closeout, summer programming, infrastructure projects, public safety initiatives, and planning efforts. Yep, and I'm excited for the new fiscal year, July 1. That's all I have. There's plenty more, but you can read at your own leisure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Yeah?
Steph. Leslie, any updates?
You want me to go? Oh, okay. Just real quickly, I was going to say, please read Steph Bacon's Town Administrator Report.
It's
Seriously,
online.
everybody in the public. It's amazing what you include.
Yeah.
I literally don't need to say anything anymore under
Well,
my reports, because you cover
Our
everything.
team is very amazing, and
Yeah.
they're busy, but it gives you a good clue into what's going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lots of detail, really very much appreciated. One thing I learned from your report, and unless I missed something somewhere, and I apologize if I did, that there was a vote taken to place the sculpture that we had been discussing and voted on at Assabet Park.
Yes.
Even though the Cultural Council had done a survey which indicated great interest in the town common.
There
So,
was a long discussion about
what,
it, yeah.
oh,
Yeah. You were there too.
It was the
Parks and Rec
prerogative of the Parks and
Yeah.
Rec. And one of the members, I think, brought up a very good point, that, you know, the survey was the survey, but having much more information after the survey went out, they're considered, and it was a great discussion, they decided that Assabet Park is the ideal place for the sculpture.
do you know where are they thinking?
So up on the hill behind the play area there where the parking lot is, up
Yeah.
on the top there. I thought it was a great discussion too, and I kind of came around on it. I was sort of like, oh, I thought it would look good in town common, and the conversation really brought me around to it. I think it looked great up there.
Interesting.
Up on the hill past the gazebo?
No. in
No, the Assabet Park, you know, where the
The
little.
splash
I'm thinking Ellsworth. Yeah, no, I'm back.
It looked great up there, yeah.
So up on the hill,
So if you're looking at the playground.
Yeah.
There's that hill, and then there's like a monument up there.
okay.
And there's nothing on that hill.
Can you see it from 20?
Not from 20, but from 135.
That's what I was wondering, what's the visibility of it there?
So with that location, do we have any other involvement? Do we have to approve that location?
No.
No.
So I guess just from an order of operations thing, and it's not a huge deal, but like we spent an okay amount of time
Yeah.
over 2 meetings
Brought 'em
coming to
back.
consensus for the common, and then it's like, nah. You know, which, and I'm sure it was more than that.
Only to
and it-
find out it wasn't really our decision to make.
Right. So I guess
Maybe if we had known that at the beginning, we
It-
wouldn't have done that.
I think
Yeah.
it was, when it was Blake Street,
Yeah.
when that was being considered, that is the town's,
Right.
But we would
Right.
have no, again, to Mike's point, if we said yes to Blake Street, we're doing meaningless, they should come back to us. It was a meaningless vote. Like, it wasn't.
It would have been, yeah.
Well, we were doing
And this
it-
is why people criticize government.
Then we were doing it to show support, even though we didn't have the authority to make it official there. We were just kind of doing it to say, you know what? We feel that it would be great there.
Yeah.
That's all that vote really was, but
Yeah, it's clear now.
I didn't know that the Essabet Park was even being considered. But I guess similar to the, let's say, the pledge discussion, you can have surveys, you can have emails, you can have all that kind of stuff, but, so they just went a different direction.
And there were good arguments made for why it would be a better potential spot than in the town.
Yeah.
Would it be up here?
Right, no, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with the decision that
Oh.
they made. It's
Up
just
there.
kind of like the order, again, the order of operations, sort of.
Yeah.
Why did we
Jeff,
have to get involved if we didn't
Is
have
it where
to?
her little finger's pointing?
Up top.
Yeah, right about
By
there.
the parking
Yeah.
lot?
Okay.
Below the parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I was thinking,
So on the hill or at the
Yeah.
top of the hill?
top of the hill.
wow.
All right.
All right.
So is it the hope that the little toddlers and things won't be climbing on it there?
Wherever you put it, people are gonna climb on it.
Oh, I mean, that's an
doesn't
extreme,
matter where
that's
you
an
put it.
extreme version of climbing, is when you actually have it in a little kid's splash pad.
Kids, kids see things they can climb.
Kind of
they
like
climb it.
dangling it in front of them.
I mean,
Yeah, it's gonna get climbed
that's,
on.
I'm kind of speechless.
I am too a bit, to be honest.
I mean, you're not even, I don't know, all the things I was presented to was all about like prominent spot in Northborough, that everyone who passed through Northborough would see it. It would be part of our identity, and it would be this, and now it's in a kids park. All right.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. Okay.
How can I follow that up? No major updates for me. I just pass.
Julian?
So at that meeting, and someone emailed us, I can't remember the person's name, but there seems to be some confusion about the Safer Routes to School grant. There was mention of using that grant for Pleasant Street sidewalks?
Maple.
No.
Oh, no, they were wondering why Maple wasn't finished.
Right,
Right, okay.
right.
Yeah.
Was it Church Street? No.
Sugar.
I don't
know.
remember.
Sorry, it
was
Well,
some-
my
the-
point is,
Yeah.
you know, we gave money for the design on Maple Street. Have priorities changed? Or because people are waiting for that
Scott
Maple Street
is coming
sidewalk.
back tomorrow, and I have that on my list to check in with him on the status of Maple Street.
Was there a formal meeting when this was, I saw the email, was there a formal meeting when this was discussed where we changed direction, or is this
No, it
rumor?
was just an aside. And because one of the areas that was being discussed was the corner of Howard and Church.
Yes.
And I think it came up in the context of that,
Yeah.
that there would be money from Safer Routes to School for sidewalk improvement there. I'm pretty sure that's how the comment was made. Do you remember?
Oh, I have it right
I may be
here.
getting it confused because I feel like there were two.
There was an email to the
Church
box
Street.
and then an email to us.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look at
Separate.
it
Email
now.
to whom?
There was like an email to our box, like
Yeah.
our email distribution list, and then there was a second email to like us, and Scott was on it and stuff like
I definitely remember something about Maple Street.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't reviewed the meeting.
So-
Yeah.
Where, I don't know, they
The
mentioned.
Parks and Rec is not recorded, actually.
Interesting.
So they're talking about Safe Streets to School, and funding for Church Street.
I think this person, and I agree with the person who emailed, we need clarification because there
Yep.
was a big push to get that sidewalk on Maple Street done.
Yep, I will,
Yeah, I think that's certainly.
get that info.
I think it would be a little interesting to request sidewalks under a safe route to schools program without asking this K through 8 school committee or superintendent or the, so I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
I think there's.
they have to participate.
Yeah, so,
Church Street.
I don't know how serious
Church
the
Street, right?
conversation
Church
was in
Street.
that meeting.
Yeah, Safe Street Schools grant funding for Church Street.
The other thing is, if you're going to talk to Scott about it, when do we have to apply?
Okay, yep.
Well, I think from the last time, Scott was kind of putting the ball in the school department's court that it would be most appropriate for them to make that, where they think those funds should be used, and that might be Maple Street.
So you're our liaison, are they,
I'm actually no longer the liaison for the K-8 school committee, but I know the new chair fairly well.
That's great.
That took a minute to land.
So, but yeah, no, I know, yeah, there was, from conversations that we've had, Scott, here in open session, from what I remember, that we were getting, yeah, the design, I think, was complete up to the point that it needed to be, and then he was getting approvals from like conservation and like another board, and had to go to their meetings to get those approvals for the design. And then once that's solidified, it's sort of, where do we get the funding? And the one funding mechanism could be that Safe Route to Schools program. But I think that would usually be then sort of take the ball and run then by the school, K-8 schools, because it would be a safe route to one of their schools. Also, it's one of the schools that we're going to be doing a new construction or asking for a new construction on. So for me, building, yeah, I know there is some sidewalk there that leads to it, but not enough, right? That's part of what they're developing. So to spend the money on a completely new school and then not have a complete sidewalk to safely walk to it seems counterintuitive. So I feel like there will be some level of push and energy from us, from that Peasley committee, from the K-8 school committee, to get something completed, because residents have been asking for a while for that Maple Street sidewalk, which is why, to your point, Julianne, we put the ARPA money towards it to get the design and all that. It's just, it's an expensive construction project, so that the funding is the tough, for the construction is the tough part. Not to speak for Scott, but that's what I remember, just being involved in it.
Okay, I'll get to the bottom of it.
oh, that ends my report.
Thank you, Dan. I guess just a brief update on the Financial Planning Committee meeting. I thought,
So, oh, yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna
okay.
provide
Oh, I
one.
thought you were asking me.
no. I watch, when I don't attend, I do watch, I always watch appropriations and finance. Those are near and dear to my heart. Congrats to Ken Picard on getting the chair position. And I just I'm continually impressed by the conversations they're having, and exploring doing postmortem on capital projects to understand what we thought and what we spent. Some of the conversations around how do we get more visibility to CPA funds and determine like how that fits into our capital plan, and partnering with that group. And just, they're already going deep, like they're starting the process now in terms of like having conversations. So the Financial Planning Committee, in my mind, is just doing great. I'm less familiar how appropriations is approaching things. I'd like to get a little bit more, kind of like those department budgets and kind of getting in there. And I think we owe them some direction on level of funding versus level service and how we have that conversation. And
That's a good
Yes,
conversation.
that's a good point. And actually, for the July 13th meeting, we're going to have budget as part of the agenda item and make those decisions. So if you can think about that, what goal are we setting for town administration and finance to work with our department heads? And we're going to need to know pretty quickly.
yeah, I mean, it feels like a needs to have, response to have year. We've
Yeah.
got some tough decisions in front of us and gonna have to really work with those committees to make sure we're digging into the finances and scrutinizing spend. And so, yeah, I just applaud the Financial Planning Committee for, the level of conversation they're having before July.
Okay. And I'll send you some information as well. Yep.
Mike, that ends my report.
Yeah, no, the only report I had, Stephanie kind of stole the thunder on, which was the Peasley Building Committee.
sorry.
The option B one, that's all right. No, that, I don't have any other reports.
How, I heard some feedback on it was like some of it was how much to like renovate versus how much to build new, and there was a little bit of
Yeah,
debate there.
so the final design options under consideration were essentially a new build versus 2 addition renovation options. The way that it was priced out, the new build was cheaper. So that's important, right? So the way that was all laid out. The new build also does not require the use of modular classrooms, which was estimated at $4 or more million. So you're able to put more money into the building.
Because those are not reimbursable.
They are not reimbursable.
SBA, yeah.
Yeah, you know, so it essentially it means building, and obviously the final design of what the building will look like and what's in it, that's all yet to be determined. Which is why there's still a lot of room on that final number and what it's going to look like. But you're essentially building a new school behind Peaslee. And then once that is ready to go, you move the kids into that brand new building and then clear the old building for your, you know, larger fields and playground in the front there. So, so it's, you know, like any municipal project, the price tag isn't fun. You know, it was, the last estimate we have is roughly like 98 million all in, with about 48 and a half of that reimbursable by MSBA, which is all an estimate. And that's all a very, very rough, loose number. There's a lot of work and devil in the details that have to be worked out, and that's what the committee's going to do to get to. Obviously, we want to present a successful project and get a successful town meeting vote next spring. So that's the goal.
And we stay with neighborhood school?
Yes, so it'll be a neighborhood school, so we're not consolidating to a 3 through 5 model and losing one of the other schools.
And did you have a lot of confidence in the estimates in terms of the credibility of doing a brand new school being cheaper than doing a restoration?
Yeah, I mean, it went back and forth. It wasn't a unanimous vote, it was a split vote. You know, so it wasn't, you know, all, I forget how many voting members at that time, 7 or 8, but or what the final vote count was. When you're building something new, I think you can kind of get to a tighter number and kind of probably stay, you know, kind of, okay, if we're doing all this and all things being equal, you know, you can kind of figure out a new build. Addition renovation by square footage is technically, you know, you consider that more expensive because it's more expensive to renovate. You're working within a footprint of a building, so there's more cost there. There's some argument that you could have maybe done things within the footprint to end up maybe being slightly cheaper, but you're also, anything with addition renovation, now you're talking about modular classrooms, a lot of student disruption. You know, so there, you know, there's the learning aspect of it, of student disruption, and you're spending a lot of money, upwards of $4 or more millions of dollars, that you're not going to get back to just simply house kids while you're gutting the school and down to the steel and redoing it. So, you know, there were arguments both ways, and I think the committee, you know, made a good decision. And I think we'll, you know, obviously the goal again is to present a project that solidifies Northborough's leadership in education, but one that we can afford. You know, so that's, and even the architect and people were saying how cost conscious our committee is and how it comes up on everything that we talk about. So probably to their detriment, right? Because the architects always want to build a, you know, they want to put their flair into it to a certain extent, right? You know, but straight lines are cheaper. So, you know, we'll, you know, there's still a lot of meetings, so that, you know, there's plenty of additional opportunity for the public to attend and provide input, because there's a lot of details. We've gotten down to a final design, but within that new box that we're going to build, there's a lot of different ways that you can go with stuff. So there's still a lot of room for community input and help for direction. So, but I guess I wasn't done with my reports.
You're like, so take that.
Any other business for the board?
I have one request for a future agenda item. I don't know if this is in the plan at all. I'm getting comments still per week about voting at the senior center. I don't know if that's being discussed. When should we
I
discuss
just had
that?
coffee and conversation at the senior center, and I feel like there's a petition coming our way.
I guess it was not well received.
It
No.
was
I did
not.
absentee, I was out of town.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of negative comments about it. First of all, it is a beautiful building, but, and I don't know how you know, the town clerk's office felt about the space inside. They made it work. I don't know if they felt it was tight. I don't know about that aspect of it, but the
Yeah,
complaints
so
I'm
for-
hearing.
We're thinking of election,
Yeah.
and there will have to be, it's almost too late. We have to stay there for November's election, but, so now we have to think outside the box and utilize different rooms in the senior center, but still, there's the in and out. And it was filled at just certain times of the day that people obviously vote, like before work or after work, or, you know, it's when we were in those tough time slots that you saw the parking lot filled. So we have to really brainstorm.
Yeah.
Because it, like I said, it's too late. The state auditors would have to come and do a full inspection of the polling locations, and it's, I don't think we can.
What do we need to do to change our bylaws to make mail-in voting part of the way that we run elections? That could take some of it away, because we ran into that late in this election cycle where I had assumed that mail-in voting was just something that was in place, but absentee voting is, and mail-in
No,
voting
it
is
was
different.
just in-person voting, so they could come here to the town clerk's
Thank you,
office at
thank you.
any
The
time.
in-person voting before the election.
Right.
How many weeks? 2 weeks
So-
before?
I think it is 2 weeks before, but that's automatic, even though it says it in our code that you'd have to vote individually for elections like this, state primaries and elections. Nope, federal takes over.
Federal
and
takes
state,
over.
Yep. So we don't have to vote for the election time, but you could make a vote at any time during the year for in-person voting.
If we were
just
going
get
to
it on
do
the
a
docket.
theme of putting voting in front of us, I'd include it all together. And we, not vote on all together, but let's do it all in one thing, whether it be being able to come and do early voting at the
Yep.
town hall and make that, sustainable how we do our elections.
Right.
It could help with some of the
Absolutely,
surge
and we're
that
gonna
people have.
push the, mailing ballots out, as we did,
It was just our
Early.
town election, we didn't have the in-person.
We didn't
because
have the
didn't
in-person.
vote- We didn't vote it in.
but
Yes.
actually, that's on our next agenda, and the
Mm-hmm.
clerk wants to speak to that. She has some different points that she'd like to make, and,
Okay.
that's her world, so I'm not
Okay.
going to.
So specifically, those senior center people did have issues with that.
Yeah.
And it's funny because standing out there holding signs has made me realize, okay, there's just one ingress egress, that's it. So if there was an emergency, you'd have ambulances having to kind of go up over the grass and get in there and, if there was some
That was-
sort of an issue. That's, to me, a little precarious. And then I heard parking got pretty bad. I went up there a couple times, but it looked full. But I just think it's worth discussing.
Right,
I don't know that it's the ideal venue for voting.
yeah, we'll discuss further, so that'll be on our next. Okay. I think we're all set.
Any public comment? Good. Do I have a motion to?
Issues we already talked about today?
Anything.
This is just this.
Public comment is any,
Anything at all.
it's your option to, any comment you'd like to make before the board.
Sure.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, I was here for
Name
the
and
fir-
Name
address.
and address.
My name is Mike Bishop. I live in 24 Main Street, in this apartment D on this, I live 200 yards away, 300 yards, something like that. But I just want to say that I listened to the first two people talking about what they do at the town hall, 4 West Main Street. And, I liked, they both gave very good presentation. I thought the second man gave a very good presentation, but I liked, I thought Eddie, Amar, I liked the idea of him having it. And I'll tell you why, because he is a businessman, he's been in this town for 24 years. He's owned Top Energy, and he's been far more years before that, but Top Energy, I think he's had for 24 years. And he's a businessman. And like that other man sitting next to him said, he's known business people and customers all over this town. He is in sync with this town better than anybody. He's had a couple of events. He's in sync with this town. He's knowing what's going on. Now, you're all here as Board of Selectmen. Why are you here? Because you're in sync with the town of Northborough. If we voted for Board of Select people from Vermont and New Hampshire, who've been very successful townspeople in those towns, they talked about how great their towns were. People from southeastern Mass, and they came here. Would we want to elect them to be Board of Selectmen for North? I don't know that we would, because they don't know this town. They don't know this town. So Nick gave a real good presentation, I thought, but he's talking a presentation he could have given in almost any town in the state. He showed Dartmouth, one of the towns that his board had there. They might have done great things for Dartmouth, but that's a whole different town than Northborough, Massachusetts. And I think that Eddie is going to be in sync with this town, and I know Eddie. I've known him for 24, 25 years. He solves problems. He does this on a daily basis. It's what he does, okay? And I see this NRB and Clinton Savings Banks, and then Nick's going to be the project. I see this, we're almost setting ourselves up for a disconnect if something doesn't quite look right for them, and we have more delays and more delays because it's impersonal. It's a bank board, bank presidents dealing with a board of Nashoba Regional, which I don't know much about, and Nashoba Regional Board. And then we don't know how Nick is going to deal with all that. He hasn't done anything quite exactly like this. But I'm telling you, Eddie is a problem solver, and he gets things done quickly. He's one of the most proactive, if not the most proactive person I've ever known. He started a lot of business. He doesn't waste time. So he is the type of person, he knows this town inside and out. So I'd absolutely say, please take that into major consideration. He's a problem solver, he's a doer, we need a doer, because I know if you're anything like me, I've lived in this town the first 24, 25 years of my life, then he moved away, then he came back, but that building there, the people have not been proactive. And if you leave it to banks, that doesn't mean it's getting any better. It might just be more stagnant. Nick's presentation, he showed they're actually expecting, and this is probably the most optimistic line that they have, it's going to be 18 to 24 months before they get anything done there. I think with Eddie, one way or another, we're going to see things get done much sooner than 18 to 24 months. So I just hope that you're going to think in terms of Eddie Elzahar. He had a very successful track record in this town. He's his top energy. He sees the town hall every single day. This is going to be a huge, huge priority. And this is not just going to be some issue in front of the bank like so many other issues, so many other possible investments. This is going to be it for him. It's going to be priority number one for Eddie. And that's why this is so important to me. I want to see something great happen for this town, for the town hall. And he's a doer, and he's a person of his word. I've known him for over 25 years. He keeps his word. He's just what we need to get something done, and get something done within 18, 24 months, much sooner than that, okay? So that's what I'm thinking is right here, okay? And I hope that you will take that in consideration as you think about your recommendations on this and what you want to do and your decision on this. I hope that you will take that all into account, okay? So, and again, local businessmen usually are much better for you than someone who's not a local businessman. He may have lived in Northborough, but his business experience is not here. He doesn't see people in the business sector on a daily basis the way Eddie does. He's been doing, on a daily basis, this man has been seeing people in this town on a business scale. And that is so important. So I hope that you take that into consideration when you're in your executive session.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Do you have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
All right.